Hello, hello, hello. What's up, my friends? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's see. We got Solid Mango here in the house. We got Anthony, Aaron, Thom97, and over in YouTube, we got Yolanda Dimitrios, Sosa Gamer. What's up, guys? Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me? Just making sure that this is actually working. Why Bold Lean is also here. What's up, my friend? Hello, hello. We got FFR95. What's up, my friend? Hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I don't know what time it is for you right now, my friends, but I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to see you. It's Friday. I always enjoy Fridays. Kepkas, what's up, my friend? Welcome. Jade Visuals is here as well. Gonna lower the music a little bit, okay, guys? So otherwise I go crazy. It's difficult to listen to me and or listen to myself rather and listen to the music at the same time. There we go. Okay, music should be there. I got both chats here visible. Coffee is ready. FFR95 says, been watching your tutorials recently and they're great. Appreciate your sharing your knowledge. You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. I'm glad that they've been helpful to you and to your journey as a 3D artist. What have you been watching recently? Sculpting, texturing, modeling, rendering. Those are usually the things that I do. Is there any specific part of the 3D pipeline that you've been like learning or getting better at? Gnome time. Yes, it's Gnome time. Today we're going to be working on the Gnome. That though it's been a little bit on my backlog here. We are gonna be working on the Gnome. I think he's really close to like a finished position in terms of like high poly, because we're gonna be doing a lot of stuff in texturing, to be honest. But yeah, there's still a couple of things. I did advance a little bit during the week, not this week, last week actually. I worked a little bit on the hands, so I finished the gloves. I think I'm gonna clean them up a little bit, but probably like 1 a.m. Oh my god, Jade Visuals, where are you from, my friend? Let me guess. So if you're 1 a.m., that means that you are roughly 14 hours ahead of me, which means that you're probably it's not Australia. It's not that far. I'm gonna guess Malaysia or Singapore. Around that area, am I right? Because it's further than India. I know that. In India right now, it's like 8:30 or 9:30 p.m. I think. I'm guessing it's gonna be like right around that. Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, like a little bit closer to there. It's 8:35 here. Oh wow. 8:35. What in the morning? India. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Oh, I was close. Melbourne, Australia. Nice. Let's see. Says, I loved your point about knowing what your model needs to be used for, and it doesn't have to be perfect if what you use for the model doesn't require it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if you mean about like small little details or things like that, but yeah, that's a good way to think about it. Oh, okay, yeah, about being a perfectionist. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, you want to be, we want to make sure that that you don't spend way too much time on something that might not need as much time. That's right. Moises QR says, hey bro, I'm trying to make a canvas roof, like a food truck roof or something. How could I do it? If you want hyper realistic, I would do it inside of Marvelous Designer. If you don't need it to be super hyper realistic, you could do it in ZBrush. I guess we could do a little example of that. We could do a little bit of example of that. But yeah, I'll probably do it on the on Marble Designer if I want to have like hyper realism for that kind of stuff. Ghost 358 says, hey, greetings from Australia. Yeah, we got a lot of Australians as well. Like yesterday I had a mentorship session with one of my students, and he is from Australia. He's doing a great job on his character. And yeah, he's from Australia. We got Alan on the house. What's up, Alan? Good morning. Welcome. Let's see. Most recently, I watched your video using UV Master for ZBrush on models that I just need. Yep, that works. That really works. Okay, cool. I think we're ready. Am I missing something? Was there any special announcement today? I don't think so. I don't think so, my friend. So let's go. Hello, and welcome. Welcome to today's live stream. As you guys know, my name is Leal, and today we're gonna have some fun doing 3D. We're gonna be working on our Gnome character that we've been working on. I need to get the concept again because I lost it. But we're gonna be working on him, and we are hopefully gonna be finishing that so that we can jump ahead and start doing a little bit of like a retopology or something like that. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be chill. It's been a long week, to be honest. Not the best week ever in terms of like certain things that happen. Not on the professional side of things, but you know how life is, right? So yeah, today we are going to be working on this character right here, which is the Gnome character. It's like a Gnome guard that I found from an amazing artist on Instagram. I am gonna say his name in just a second. He's got this very cool name. Just very quickly look for that concept. Man, I should have it on the thumbnail. Well, not on this thumbnail, but on the past thumbnails we did have it. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. This is by Axel van Nethercastle. Axel van Nethercastle. And this is the character right here. We're doing this character right here. Yep, that's the process so far. So we got the helmet ready. I feel like the gloves are pretty much there. They're gonna be a little bit tricky. I'm actually gonna show something that you guys can do, because when baking this kind of stuff, it can be a little bit tricky to bake inside of the fingers. So there's like techniques that we can use for that when we get there. But the glove is pretty much ready. I want to give it another pass to this thing, and we're missing the shoulder guards. The shoulder. I remember we did them. Same for the kneecaps, right, Alan? Do you remember we had the kneecaps? Pretty sure we had the kneecaps. Actually, give me 1 second. I'm pretty sure I had those. So for those of you that don't know, if you go here to quick save, you're gonna have all of the different things that you did at a certain point. Like all of this, like these are some characters of mine, some characters of some of my students. So a little bit of everything. And I think this one right here should have the armor pieces. Yeah, there you go. I knew it. Yeah, so those are the armor pieces right there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna load my Gnome again. The scale might be a little bit off because we changed certain things, but as you can see, this is the kneecap, so that's what lofted surface 1. I'm gonna go here to my character, subtool, append, and let's append lofted surface 1. There we go. Oh no, it's actually where it's supposed to be. There you go. We need to move the skirt a little bit, of course, or just make that thing a little bit smaller. And then I also need the shoulder pads. Do I have? There we go. That's P cube 10. I'm going to append and P cube 10. There we go. Cool. That's gonna make everything a lot easier. Okay, so let's move this here to the side. It's gonna save us a little bit of time, right? A couple of minutes here and there. Couple of news before we... what's the word? Before we... Aryan Sonny, what's up, my friend? Long time no see. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I just blanked out. I just blanked out. Let's say something. Oh yeah, important things. So if we're doing important things, the next important event that we're gonna have is on next Friday. Next Friday we're gonna have portfolio review. For those of you that are new to the channel, every single month we do something called portfolio review, and portfolio review allows me to go over your guys' work, and we will just talk about it. I tell you the things that are working, the things that might not be working as much, and how to fix them ideally, right? So if you want to be part of that, you need to join the Discord channel. You're going to have to go into the Discord channel. And once you're inside of the Discord channel, there's going to be a new place where that's going to be opening during the week. It opens randomly, so you need to be like on the lookout. And when it does, you just need to post your information there, usually an ArtStation link. And that's pretty much it. Once you do that, you are going to be enrolled for portfolio review. Okay. So here what I'm going to do, I'm using local symmetry to push all of these points out. So I do want to keep this shoulder pad like fairly symmetrical, right? It's supposed to be like manufactured like a uniform or something. I think we don't need that last loop, so I'm probably going to delete it. So I'm just going to go here to select lasso, grab those guys right there, and just delete it. So we're only left with this piece right here. Again, I'm going to just like roughly move it around. As you can see, I changed the symmetry on this tool or on the subtool to the C symmetry, so that whatever I move on the front is also being moved on the back. Okay. Now this is where we can benefit from using again C modeler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to isolate this thing, going to C modeler. A lot of people hate C modeler, but that's actually a pretty cool tool. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to extrude the edge. Where is it? Extrude edge. And I'm going to extrude the mesh border right here. So what this will do, as you can see, is it will give me that thing right there. I normally like to turn on the polyframe so that we can see what we're doing. And I'm going to press Alt. Let me see if I can. Oh, no, I can't. I'm going to have to go here to polygroup, and let's just polygroup that. There you go. So we have a little bit of a better idea. Because as you can see, what I'm trying to do right here is I'm trying to create this sort of like gold, like trim, right? Like this gold element. And you always want to work with as little polygons as you can for this kind of stuff. So I'm going to try to go back to move brush. I'm going to try to be as precise as possible and create that very nice curvature that we have before we do any sort of extrusion or anything. Okay. I would imagine that here on the top, we might also have a little bit of a flary thing. So the thing's going to like push out a little bit, not too much. Like we don't want to make this pointy so that he's going to hurt himself, right? So yeah. Let's see. Hello, Abe. What do you think about adding plugins to external things that let you zoom with scroll wheel? I mean, if it works for you, go for it. The only thing you guys need to be aware when working with plugins, any plugins, and this is for Maya, for Blender, for ZBrush, anything, is how easy it is to apply it on a production pipeline. What do I mean by this? If you go to work, if you go and work in a studio or in a project, and you need to install that plugin on that computer that is going to be providing for you, is it easy to do? Is the plugin available for free for commercial use? Because if it is not, and the studio doesn't want to buy a license for it, which unfortunately a lot of studios might hesitate to do that. Imagine if they had to buy plugins for everyone on the studio, it will be very, very expensive. But if that happens, then you're gonna be out of luck, right? So that's why ideally you want to make sure that the plugins that you use are free. They're from a reliable source, right? Like you don't want to compromise the security of any place that you're again working at, and ideally something that doesn't confuse or changes things too much. That's another thing that some of my teachers used to recommend. Like if you're working in a big studio, imagine like, I don't know, 300, 500, 1,000 people, and you need someone to come to your computer and help you, and your UI and everything's like completely different, they're gonna struggle trying to get done what they need to get done, right? So that's where working with like standardized tools can be a little bit more useful, I would say. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to move this thing up a little bit. Like this angle right here seems to be going up a little bit more, because we're still gonna see the other one is a little bit rounder. And see how easy it is to manipulate this kind of stuff when you have a low amount of poly points, of poly elements. That's what we want. Okay, so there you go, something like that. And again, we want to make sure that this is, you know, relatively big, so that in animation we're not like struggling too much to animate this properly. Oh, I'm not gonna move it on that direction just yet. Okay, cool. there can be a little bit of overlap. Overlap is very normal in games. So there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to geometry. I'm going to say dynamic subdivision. I'm going to turn this on. And I'm going to give it a little bit of thickness. Quite a bit. Not too much, of course. We've talked about this before. You always want to have a little bit more thickness than you think you're going to need. So something like this, I would say is a good amount. And I'm going to hit apply. Now I can go a couple of subdivision level downs, or I can just reconstruct subdivisions. Can I? Oh, no, I can't. Okay, so one more thing I'm going to do then. I'm going to remove the smooth subdivision. So I'm going to leave this like this. And I'm going to say apply. Now, as you can see, there does seems to be like a separation between this red part and this guy right here. So I'm probably going to go back to C Modeler, go back to faces, and I'm going to use inset. I'm going to inset, and I'm going to inset the polygroup all. A little bit, something like that. And then once that's insetted, I am going to do a Q mesh here to push this up. And I'm going to do again Q mesh island. Or not island, Q mesh polygroup all. I'm going to Q mesh this up. Why? Because when I smooth, I want to have that nice little sort of like border there on the element, right? Like similar to what we see on the character. However, I don't like that sharp border that we're getting here on the outside. And that's very easy to fix. We should be able to just delete that edge. So I'm going to go to edge. And I'm going to say delete edge loop complete. There we go. We delete that one. And I'm actually also going to delete that one. Oh. Try to delete just... It's a non-symmetrical operation. That's weird. Okay. Delete that. That should be enough then. Remove polyframe. Yep, there you go. There we go. That's looking way better. Okay. Now I'm just gonna like move things a little bit. And because I want this to be a little bit more hard surfacey, I'm gonna use a little bit of train dynamic to just like hammer in a little bit of the details here. Oh, we're getting a problem here. Okay. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but we lost the symmetry on this thing. How do we recover symmetry? Can anyone guess? It's a good exercise. We lost symmetry right here. I'm trying to do something here, and as you can see, it's not happening on the other side. And we do have symmetry enabled, so something happened during the symmetry thing. Any guesses on how we can recover that? Prophet, are you still using look depths on your renders for clients? Yes, of course. Mirror and weld. Yeah, that's right. We are going to be using mirror and weld. So I'm going to go... First of all, we need to delete lower on the resolutions because we're not going to have proper resolutions. This is, of course, going to break topology, but that's fine. And I'm going to go to modify topology. And we're going to do a mirror and weld. But very important, we're going to do this on the Z-axis and hit mirror and weld. There you go. So now the element is symmetrical again. That's it. That's all we had to do. Maybe we need to smooth the center a little bit right there, but that's pretty much all we have to do. I'm gonna make this a little bit more pointy, just a tad bit. There we go. Love it. This again is supposed to be armor, so give it a couple of bumps and dents to indicate that this character has done his job and has taken care of the city. Right? He's a good guard. I always add more of these details later on in like texturing or painting, but it's a good idea to do this kind of stuff. I'm really worried, or not worried, I don't like the way like this looks very wobbly here, so I'm gonna use my move brush to try to straighten that wobbly effect. It's fine to have a little bit of imperfections. Imperfections are part of like human life, right? They're part of our world. But I don't mind having a couple of imperfections here and there. But it is important to try to minimize them. Would you have any recommendation on a tutorial to make hard surface like robots and stuff like that? I've done several hard surface techniques on the channel. You might want to look them up. I did like a shoulder pad a couple of months ago. But it's all about controlling your forms, man. It's all about that. Choo Choo Bob 1212 says, hello there, I got some questions about 3D printing. Shoot. Go for it, man. What's it? What's the question? Let me know. Hopefully I'll be able to help. Rodriguez, what's up, my friend? Welcome, guys. Thank you for the live. Even if I'm not particularly wishing to become a character artist, this is interesting and it lets me learn how you model clothing parts, etc. There you go. Yeah, everything can be useful. Okay, cool. So we got the shoulder part right there, and I actually think be a little bit thinner, a little bit higher up, and a little bit more rotation here. Like the angle seems to be a little bit off on mine. Going to adjust it a little bit because we still need to see the secondary element, and for that secondary element, probably the only thing I'm gonna do, to be honest, is just duplicate this thing, right, and scale it in. Like, as they tend to say, just keep it simple. Keep it very, very simple. And in retopology, I'm probably gonna be retopologizing those as a single piece. I'm not entirely sure just yet. That depends on the needs from animation. Like if animation needs you to keep things a little bit cleaner, you would need to. Sorry. Oh my god. Oh, that was an intense sneeze. Are you gonna round? Yes, I think we do need to round this off, to be honest. So let's do a quick auto groups here. And I do think we need to round this one off. A little bit, right? A bit more. I'm gonna use move topological here. Move topological only moves the faces that are connected. Very good way to. This will be one of those pieces that if I need to really clean up, I'll just do retopology again. Like I'll just go into Maya, do retopology, and then bring it back and just clean it up. But because I know we're gonna be doing like a low poly version of this thing, I don't mind too much. Yes, I'm gonna push this point in a little bit in. Have that much overlap right there. Again, a little bit of overlap there on the cloth, perfectly fine. Dollar Store Traders, what's up, my friend? Love that name. So I have some medical issues, asthma in particular. Mother is worried about my health risks pertaining to that. I plan to use PLA. How toxic is it, and how can I convince her it's okay? So PLA shouldn't be an issue. PLA is relatively safe in terms of like the odors and the fumes that you're gonna get. There are certain things that I've seen people use. I haven't used them myself, to be honest. So 3D printer and closure. So you can buy one of these things right here, like this ones, and some of them are like relatively cheap. And then what you do is you connect a fan or connect an extractor, like an air extractor, to the back of the thing, and then you use that to remove the fumes, like something like this. And they can be a little bit expensive, but they're useful if you're worried about that. To be honest, for PLA, I wouldn't worry about it too much. If you're gonna be printing ABS, which is a harder substance, it's what Legos are made of. In that case, yeah, I do recommend that you get like a specific room or some like what's the word? Like mask, like a respirator, right? To make sure that you're not inhaling those fumes, because it can be very it's not like toxic, it's not gonna kill you immediately, right? But it can definitely irritate you. So if you have asthma, you might get like some asthma attacks, and that would be pretty bad. Same for 3D printing. 3D printing can be a little bit smelly, and you can get especially isopropylic alcohol. Is that the right name? Right, I think it is the right name. That one can be a little bit tricky as well. Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna go here to the character and push the curvature here a little bit in. Oh, we already have a belt. Yeah, I thought about everything. I was gonna say, let's take this character into Maya, let's do a belt, but hey, seems like we already have one. So that's great. And make it a lot easier for us. So I'm gonna grab that belt right there, and one of the things that I want to do with this belt is just clean the geometry or the surface. So as you can see, this belt was done, I think it was done inside of Marvelous, if I'm not mistaken. So what I need to do is I'm just gonna go to series mesher and just series mesh this thing, and boom, we're gonna have a clean mesh. Now I can do half and series mesh again and again and again and again and again, and one more time. There we go. That's perfect, right? right? So we don't even need to retopologize this. We're just going to be using this as our low poly eventually. So again, we're going to go into modeler, QMesh, give this extrusion so that we have a little bit of extrusion here, and I'm going to give it a little bit of extrusion in because I do want to have overlap on this particular case towards the center of the character. I think I'm going to, let's center this. I think I'm going to make it a little bit thicker here so it's a little bit more visible. And I know we have a secondary belt holding, it's got like some sort of like pouch or something. I'm probably going to recycle that pouch. I'm going to be honest, guys. I want to jump into retopology to show you some other tricks because we've been doing sculpting quite a bit. So I'm probably going to be jumping into that in just a second, okay? And that's very normal as well. Like if you already did something, there's absolutely no need to like do it again, especially things that are not as important. I'm going to bevel that and bevel that. There we go. Why? So that when we smooth, we get like a nice sharp border right there. Yeah, that's right, Mango. That's actually exactly what I'm going to do. So for those of you that don't know, I did a course. I'm not sure if it's my favorite course so far that I've done, but it's definitely one of the ones that I had the most fun with. So it was the hand-painted one. Project files. Where is it? Here. So this is the hand-painted course, and this is the pass, right? Like this is the sculpting pass that we did for the character. We go through everything, right? That we go through anatomy, we go through UVs, we go through retopology, we go through absolutely everything. The concept is amazing. It's from the great Labros Panousis. He is an amazing artist. He was kind enough to let us use the concept for this course. So this back right here is what I need. So we're gonna be reusing this one. So let's turn everything off except for this one, and it actually has two backs. That's fine. We can use two backs as well. Back button. There we go. And I'm just gonna say merge, and then merge visible. There we go. Now we can go back to our gnome here. And I'm just going to say append. And append this, guys. The scale might be off. I'm not sure if it's going to be like extremely small or extremely big. Where are they? I think they're extremely small. Yeah, there you go. So we need to make them bigger. We're gonna rotate them around. Actually, I'm not gonna rotate. I'm gonna mirror them. So I'm gonna mirror. There you go. Get this here, and that's gonna save us at least like an hour of work, right? So it's one of those things that can be very useful. For this kind of like and this is done all the time, by the way, in production. Especially with like soldiers or people who need to be like standardized, right? Because of uniforms and stuff. This is very common. It can also work as a placeholder. Yeah, if eventually I need to replace it with another one, we can also do that. But again, to be honest, like it's just a back, right? Like it's a back. There's nothing like magical or important about that one in particular. It's just a back. Is there any way to make your own library of assets to use for other models? Yeah, you can use IMM brushes. So IMM brushes, remember, are these brushes that have a lot of like components, and you can build your own. We actually go on. Do we cover that? Yeah, we cover that on the Oni course. So if you guys are like new to ZBrush, like the Oni course is like the way to go. So this one right here, page 2. There we go. This one. So on this course right here, not only are we covering how to make this character as a whole, right? Like it's like what, 9 chapters or 10 chapters of all of the creation for this character, but it also covers all of the ZBrush tools and all of the important things. So I made this course specifically so that while we're making the character, I teach you all about the different tools that we have to our disposal inside of ZBrush. So if you're new to ZBrush, this one is it. Do you have courses on Udemy or only on my website? Only on my website. Only on my website, my friend. Only on the website. Okay, let's add a couple more details. So on this thing right here, it has a couple of divots. And this is where you can either... Actually, hey, this is a great example. Like we were talking about IMM brushes, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to press BI and I'm going to go to my IMM basic or primitives right here. And I'm going to grab, for instance, this like sphere right here. And what I can do with this is I literally just need to drop this and boom, we got a little sphere right there and a little sphere right there. Not only that, but we can of course like position them where we want. So that's what IMM brushes are. Right now, of course, that's a very simple IMM, right? It's just a little like sphere. But even though it's just a little sphere, it's it allows me to quickly position this thing well where I need it, right? So that's the little bit of extra detail. And I can do the same thing, for instance, here on the helmet. I see that we also have spheres. So let's jump to the helmet. The only thing about IMMs is that you need to have, like, there cannot be subdivisions. So you need to have no subdivision levels, right? So it needs to be Dynamesh or something like that. Dollar Store Kratos. Hey, I'm sorry if this might start some discussion, but is there going to be a contest this year too? Yes, we do want to have a contest. Things have been a little bit busy over here at the studio side of things, so I've been quite occupied with some other things, so I haven't been able to focus on that, but hopefully in the next couple of months, we're going to have more information about it. Do you think it will be possible to create content with a professional from the industry explaining his work, like with a lighting artist or an environment artist? This kind of stuff is great. Thomas, yeah, no, we've had one guest this at the beginning of this year. We talked to Ethan Detuit. I never know how to pronounce his last name. I'm sorry, Ethan, but he is a BFX artist, and he was telling us a little bit about his his particular expertise and stuff. Great artist. But yeah, we can definitely bring in like a lighting artist or an environment artist. Is there a specific thing that you would like to learn about those particular elements? Because we've covered a lot of like stuff from those as well here on the channel. We've done environment pieces, we've done trim sheets, we've done modular acid. Last week during the live stream, we did a modular acid. We did a wagon, like a Western wagon. De Trois. I also think it kind of sounds like French, right? You know, it's not French, but kind of sounds like it. Okay, so now that I have that placeholder, now I should be able to insert this guy right here. And let's position it where I need it. So that one's right there. Then we draw another one. Center the pivot point. Right around there. Remember, all of these guys right here that I'm adding, they're eventually going to be baked down, right? Like, we're probably not going to be capturing the silhouette as much, but it's important to have the silhouette or the information. Stylized fur. We covered that on the hand-painted course and on the Oni course as well. You need to sculpt it. There's no other way but to sculpt. It is time-consuming. Hair is one of... Actually, we covered that on the hair course as well. We do the sculpted hair for the... what's the word? For the Troll King. That was a very fun exercise as well. So you might wanna check that one. Okay, there we go. And then we have one right around here. Further down here. Then one right around here. Thank you for the follow, Casimo7. Thank you. There. One more right there. Have you personally used floaters for any of your projects? I rarely hear anyone speak of them. No, yeah, I've used floaters quite a bit, yes. Yeah, no, they're really good, man. Really good too. I don't use them all the time, but I've used them, especially when you have like very complex shapes. I know they use them at like Epic Games as well. There we go. And we're going to mirror and wealth, or sorry, we're going to mirror and then mirror and wealth. Oh, that messed this thing up. Let's position this right here, and let's turn off local symmetry and mirror and wealth. There you go. That work? think it works. Awesome. Now we got the little dots there on the helmet. Let's go to this guy right here and do the same thing. So mirror on. And here we go. See, just small little changes, and this character is already looking quite nice, if I may say so myself. Jim Video says, definitely his Sony course is the best in the market. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for the kind words. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, Prashant, if you want to start with ZBrush, the Oni course. It is a little bit steep. Like, first couple of chapters are very easy to follow, and then we go like, but if you manage to sort of like push through, I can guarantee you're gonna feel very, very confident with ZBrush once you're finished. What would you say are the biggest advantages of Marmoset tool bag? Thanks for the great tutorials. Polyansky, baking for once, baking is just like amazing inside of Marmoset. I love baking my characters inside of Marmoset. It's like just super good, to be honest. And the other one is presentation, right? Like for rendering, it's unbeatable. It's just super fast to set up. You can get really clean results really fast. And you can do hair, you can do terrain, you can do everything. We also have the Marmoset course there if you want to check it out. But it's a really good like software. One of my favorites to work on. Like whenever I need to present something to a client, I usually do it inside of Marmoset before they incorporate it into their like pipeline. When will the new UI for ZBrush come out? I don't know. I wish I was part of the developer team, but I'm not, so I can't tell you that. Like I'm not sure, to be honest. But if you want to give it a try, like if you want to get an idea of how it's going to be, it's the iPad UI. So if you have an iPad or access to an iPad, and you start learning the UI there, once it releases for PC, it's going to be very similar. From what I've heard, some of the conferences and meetings that they've done, they want to unify both elements. So they want to make sure that when you're working on the iPad, it feels like if you were working on the PC and vice versa. So when you're working on PC, it's going to feel like you're working on the iPad, which I think it's a smart move. There's a lot of studios. I didn't know about this. Some of you guys might know this, but there's a lot of studios that have been switching their pipelines, some of their pipelines, to iPads instead of PCs. Why? Because it allows for a cheaper experience, right? Like you only need an iPad, which is a lot more affordable than a super high-end PC. And a lot of the software is there, again, especially for a modeler or for like even like a texture artist, right? It can be like very easy and very manageable. It's not as comfortable. I'm gonna say that. Like if you're in an office working on an iPad, might not be as comfortable as like what I'm doing right now, which is working on a PC. But if you're at home or you travel a lot or you need to have like more flexibility, I think it's a really powerful thing. I'm gonna sharpen his cheekbones a little bit more. And yeah, that's pretty much it for now there. Let's go to the skirt. I'm just gonna like open the skirt a little bit more because we are gonna have this piece right here, the armor. It's a lot thinner though. Oh man, like I always like doing this kind of stuff. This like super stylized characters can definitely be a little bit tricky. So for instance, you can see here on the concept, it's really like this, right? Like his legs are super thin. Did I make the legs too thick? I think I might have made the legs too thick. I think I might have made the legs too thick. So we're gonna have to fix that. Let's just start pushing. The good thing is we're still on the sort of like the blocking stage. So we can very quickly adjust this kind of things. Is ZBrush running also in an iPad Air or better with iPad Pro? So I had an iPad, like a normal, like it was the iPad Gen 10, which is like the base iPad. It's not like an Air or a Pro, and it worked very nicely, to be honest. Like I actually recorded the whole iPad course with that one, and it was perfectly fine. But now I've tried it on an iPad Pro, and it's like night and day, to be honest. So if you can afford the iPad Pro, it's like a really freaking good device, but it's very expensive, right? Like it's way more expensive than the other one. than the air. Yeah, he's got like really thin like feet and everything. Okay, we're gonna do the boots next. I think we definitely need to do the boots now. Whoa, girl! Hello, hello! Thank you for the sub, my friend. Good long time no see. Yeah, it's a beast. It's a beast. Like the iPad Pro is a beast. I got one and really like it. But I understand that it can be a little bit expensive. If you can justify the expense and you're gonna be using it for work, really handy. Like I use it all the time when I'm like going to talk to clients and I need to like draw stuff and show them like renders or 3D models even. That's why I'm using it. But if I couldn't justify it, I wouldn't get it. It's just like very a lot more expensive. Did I hear? Yeah, so last year during ZBrush Summit, they announced 2 major things coming to ZBrush. When? I don't know. Hopefully soon. I really hope that they can showcase or give us a little bit of that relatively soon. One of them is a rework on the UI. So the UI is going to be like the ZBrush for iPad UI, which I personally really like. I think it's a good decision because this UI can be a little bit like intimidating sometimes. So I think it's a good idea that we're gonna have a rework on the UI. It's a lot more streamlined, a lot more modern as well. Unfortunately, I think they mentioned that there's not going to be like a toggle or something. So like we're going to have to adapt to the new UI when it launches. But again, I think it's a good decision. It's a good move there. And the other thing that they announced that they're working on is like their own set of like UV tools, like the ability for you to do your own UVs, like clean UVs, not just like with UV Master, like clean, like normal UV workflow. Yeah, like mark seams, unfold, layout, things like that. So yeah, it's really good. Pencil Pro is fantastic. The Pencil, how does it fare? Who said Pencil Pro is fantastic? Yeah, Pencil Pro is just the pencil. Like that's the only thing you need to check. Depending on which iPad you get, if you get an iPad that's not compatible with like there are some pencils, Apple pencils that don't have like pressure sensitivity. They're just to like write stuff down. Don't get those. You need to get a pencil that has like sensitivity so that you can actually work, right? Yeah, there we go. So legs look a lot more stylized now, a lot thinner, of course. But I think they also look better, like more in line with the character here. Now let's focus on the boots. The boots are going to be, I think, a good option or a good like exercise here. So one thing I like to do when I'm working with 2 elements, I just like to work on one because this is symmetrical, right? So let's try to clean the forms here a little bit. When I say clean the forms, what I mean is making sure that we don't have like lumpy surfaces, right? Like we want to make sure that this is like very clean and very clear. Like there's a specific intention on every one of our like brush strokes. So for instance here, it just looks way too lumpy, right? Like it doesn't look like a boot. Like things are going into that pointy bit. So it looks like he has like a juanete. Not sure what the word is in English, but I'm gonna polish that so that the boot looks like it's really going up, right? So for instance here, I would expect to see like a plane where the boot is actually lifting up, right? We can always sort of like thin things down and stuff, but see this like horrible curvature right there, especially in stylized stuff. You don't want to have those laser curves, so you either commit to an intense curvature or you go for like a sharp line, which is what I'm doing right here. Bunions. Yeah, there you go. Bunions. So we gotta again like clean that stuff right there. Bunion. Thank you guys. That's the same word. Juanete is the same word, or bunion is the same word in Portuguese. Substance versus Marmoset for hand painted 3D code. none of those 3D code. I love 3D code for hand painted stuff. It's just like so freaking good. I have not tried Marmoset for hand painted, to be honest. But here's the thing, and I can show you why I don't particularly love. Let's do that comparison because that's a question that I get asked often. So let me open Substance. Oh my god. Sir, if I face some issues during the course, how it will resolve? So you have the option to ask a question in the course. Like, you can literally write a question and people can answer. I can answer, of course. You can send me an email, and you can also reach out to me via Discord if you are like stuck and you need some help. So I do provide support in that. God, again. I hate when that happens. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second, guys. The problem is, I have my computer, my wife has her computer, and I have another laptop. And freaking Photoshop only allows you to log in 2 computers at a time. So whenever we're switching back and forth, it like locks me out of one and locks me back in the other one. Freaking annoying. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second here. 1 second. So, how's life? Anything new? Any new hobbies? New here. New. Go. Then I get like the 2-factor authentication. I mean, I understand why we have this. I don't mind. It's just it's very very annoying having to do this. No, it's fine. It's fine. Like it's not normal for someone to install the code or the element in 3 different computers, right? You're gonna get piercings for your birthday, man? Oh, dude. I don't know if I would get piercings. I've always been curious about getting a tattoo, though. Tattoo is one of those things that I am... I'm always like, oh, should I do it? Should I not do it? But it's at the same time, it's one of those things that... Like, if I would get a tattoo, I'm not sure what that tattoo would be. Second here. Having a blast at Marvel's Designer recently. Yeah, Marvel's Designer is great. Very fun. There you go. We're ready. Would I design your tattoo? I think I would. So... yeah, I think I would. The one tattoo that I've think about like really hard is like a sleeve on the left arm, right? So all of this arm, and I've seen this before. Let me see if I can find it. It's very nerdy though. You guys are gonna laugh, but I love, like, of course, like fantasy and Nordic stuff. So runes, arm, sleeve. So my idea is to do something like this, right? Where you have like a sleeve, where is it, like this, with like the runes and stuff. Not like this, like probably I would just do like a solid color, to be honest. I don't think I would like gradients or anything, so probably more like this. Yeah, a little bit closer to this, but then I would try to write specific like quotes or phrases that I like or that I sort of like identify or vibe with on the sleeves, right? Like on the circles. Always learning, always improving is probably going to be one of them, right? So yeah, no, of course I would like double check to make sure that I'm not writing anything bad on this. But yeah, like something simple like this. I would not go for like the super elaborated ones. Like I would try to keep it a little bit minimalistic, to be honest. Okay, so let me explain to you the difference between... Go here to the Toth. Here's the difference between hand painting inside of... actually, I do want to make a... I'm gonna make a short about this because we get this question quite a bit. Let's not get any shadows. There you go. So what's the difference between hand painting inside of Substance and inside of any other software like 3D Code? The problem that I have with Substance is the fact that here on the top, you can only control the flow of the brush with pen pressure. So if I'm trying to paint, as you can see right there, let me go to the channel. If I try to paint, all of the strokes are of the same intensity, of the same opacity, right? Even if I go like very, very, very thin, and I do have float enable, it's not really doing anything. There are some brushes that are really good here inside of Substance. So for instance, this knife brush right here, that's supposed to have opacity. And it does work a little bit better. As you can see on the top part, it does have that. But you actually need to remove or lower the stroke opacity, and you can't control it with again the pen pressure. So it's controlled directly here. So you need to sort of like build up to it. And I don't like that. I know it's something very, very weird. And well, for instance, I just click there to enable flow. But again, like if I have the opacity all the way to 100, flow is not really changing anything on the brush, right? So every single brush strokes that I do is going pretty much at full opacity. So I need to play with the stroke opacity first and then build up the value that I might want, which I particularly don't like. Gonna jump to 3D Code. So if we could go into 3D Code, let's use this example right here. So inside of 3D Code, things are a little bit different, because here inside of 3D Code, it does work closer to how I expect a brush to work. So I can just like select whatever color it is I want. Why is this gray? Why is this great? Oh, because I'm painting on the ambient occlusion. Silly me. Okay. So here in 3D Code, it's a lot different, because when I work with pen pressure, I can go very, very, very thin, right? Very thin layers of paints, or I can go really, really intense, and it's being controlled by the brush, which I just personally find to be the deal breaker for me. That's why I prefer to paint here, because I feel like I have more control with the opacity of the brush strokes here inside of 3D Code than I do inside of Substance. That's pretty much it. I have not tried this inside of Marmoset. Should we? Should we try it inside of Marmoset? Let's try it inside of Marmoset. Yeah, no, this is the knife brush. Like, as you can see here, I'm using the knife brush inside of Substance Painter, and I still can't get that. Like, if my stroke opacity is to 100, then it doesn't matter if I go like super, super thin, super, super low. Like I'm barely touching my tablet here, and as you can see, the brush is still going to 100%. So that's why I don't love it. Let's check how we do it here inside of 3D Code. So I'm going to just add a sphere real quick. Let's just add a sphere. Okay, and now let's add a paint project. Let's go to texture, layer settings, and layers. We're gonna add a paint layer. The color Wolf Girl with the gifts. Thank you, Wolf Girl. You don't have to do that, Wolf Girl. But thank you very much for the support here. Congratulations, Zarn! Zarn got a gift. I think it's the first time I've seen Zarn getting a gift sub here on the on the channel. There you go, Zarn. Now you have a sub here as well. Yeah. So let's see, where is brush, and I think we need to link this. Link materials. I'm missing. What am I missing here? Materials, texture material. There you go. Okay. So what I want is I want to be able to control, again, the opacity of the brush stroke. So as you can see right now, I'm painting the brush stroke, and again, it's going to full opacity here inside of Marmoset. I still have the opacity over here, which I can like tweak and play around with. But I'm wondering if there's pen pressure. I know we have some options. Brush tool settings, there you go. And then here. So we have, oh, it seems like we do have opacity pressure. This is way better. Like right now, this is just giving one more point to Marmoset in my book. because I can control the opacity right there. That is amazing. Let's get rid of the spacing. And there we go. So if we grab like a harder brush, I'm gonna go tip contrast really high. Yeah, this is what allows me to, like, this is what I want. I want to be able to have opacity being controlled by the pen pressure, because that way I can create my blends. Okay. So there's one more thing that I prefer about 3D Code in terms of like texturing, and I've talked about this to the Substance guys, and they say that it's such a small thing, but at the same time it's like super complicated to implement, and that's the color sampling, right? So when I'm painting here inside of like a 3D Code, for instance, again I can start like doing this, something like that, and if I want to do a blend, I just press the V key on my keyboard, and if I like, that's just gonna sample whatever color my mouse is currently hovering over, and that allows me to very quickly sample the color that I want and start like blending this thing. So see how I'm blending this like gradient right here from yellow to gray very quickly, so I can incorporate any color, and by just sampling the new bands that I'm getting right there, I'm able to blend everything very nicely. That to me is super important, because I just want to be like doing this like painting process, right? And I don't want to be stopping anytime I need to sample the color. So this allows me to move a lot faster on the blending aspect. You can of course later on go with like a soft brush and help you clean up the blending a little bit more. But I like to see that like streaking like texture on my element. Inside of Substance, if you want to sample a color, you need to press letter P to go into sample mode, click on the element, and now you're gonna have the color. And yes, I know you can remap the sampler to like the V key again, so that you can sample with that, but it's not the shortcut. It's the fact that I need to click to confirm, right? And I don't want to click. I just want to sample the color, right? Like let's say that pink color right there, and just keep painting. So again, other than the stroke opacity that we just talked about, like if I see a color, I just want to be able to just press the key and not have to confirm that selection. I understand why they do it, and the reason why they do it this way, because when you sample, not only are you sampling the color, you're actually sampling all of the other channels as well. You're sampling the different elements. The question is, does Marmoset have blending like this? Yes, so it does have the blending that we were like talking about. So for instance, if I go here to this like brownish color, I can start like doing a little bit of a softer effect with opacity. I don't remember what the shortcut is for the picker. I mean, we have the color picker here. Don't remember what the color picker shortcut is. There has to be one, right? Has to be. Let's see, Marmoset color picker shortcut. Oh, it seems to be P as well. See, P. Yeah, same stuff, right? So as you can see, I need to click on the color, and then I can continue sort of like painting on the element. I need to P, click the color, and then continue painting. And I know it's stupid, or it might seem very stupid, but that one difference, just that one freaking difference, is the one thing that stops me from doing hand painted inside of Marmoset or inside of Substance. Because when I'm doing hand painted here, I just want to be able to not have to worry about this, and just like quickly just like hit P and sample whatever color it is that I need, right? So again, let's say I grab this like red color, and as you can see, we have multiple variations of red, right? So just hit P, and there you go. I just hit P right here, and there you go. I just hit P, or sorry, not P. This is V. So I just hit V right here. There you go. I hit B right here. There you go. And I can grab the intermediate tones and just like keep pressing B, and just like blending everything. It's a very specific thing, but yeah, it works. Might be too far off topic, but could you give me a quick preview of how the bevel shader works in Marmoset? Yes, of course, I can do that, man. Here. I actually have the exercise from the... I think I have the exercise from the Marmoset course. Give me 1 second. Here. 24. 25. Marmoset. Is it this one? Yeah, there you go. So we have this piece right here. And to make this a little bit more interesting, this is how the bevel shader works. This piece right here is a piece that I did instead of Maya. It's actually made out of booleans. I just triangulated everything at the end to make sure that that it was just like like working properly with triangles, but this is just a Boolean mesh. And as you can see, if we had to retopologize this thing to create like proper subdivision workflows and proper edges and everything, it would just like take a long time. So what they did in the recent editions of Marmoset here is that you can now go here to the actual material and change the surface to the bevel option. So this is on the normals, and this is something that we're going to do on the high poly, and then you can bake this down, by the way. So I'm going to set this to bevel. And what bevel will do is it will calculate every single edge of your element and it will make it bevel. But Abe, why the hell is this not bevel? Because you need to use ray tracing. So I'm going to go to ray tracing, and when I jump, look at that. Boom. Every single corner of the element has now a very nice clean bevel going along the surface, and I don't have to worry about having clean subdivision models, and I can just bake this down into a low poly with that proper curvature. And we can change the width of the bevel, right? Like make it a lot more intense. We can make it a lot smaller. For something like this, I will probably keep it like relatively small, right? Like very clean, very sharp, something like this. You can change the bevel angle. Yeah, you can change the bevel samples. Of course, the more samples, the more precise this is going to be. But it's a really, really, really strong tool, because now I can, again, literally take this thing right here, and this is my high poly. So even though I did not spend all of the time to like clean and have like super perfect subdivision surfaces, I can just bake this down into a low poly with like proper topology and proper UVs, of course. And we are going to be baking that nice little curvature right there. And let's make it a little bit more intense so as you can see it. And there you go. So yeah, very, very powerful tool. Again, we have an exercise, like a full exercise on the Marmoset course, where we go over this and how to use it to bake everything down and just like do the full process. Very, very useful. Super, super useful. Do you have libraries that you actually recommend? A listing of alphas and IMMs that I could get to have a high quality and variety. I found a lot online, but I don't know what to pick and if it's quality. Yes, I actually do have some of that here. Give me 1 second. So, for skin, the best alphas out there, like without question, are the X, Y, and C skins. This one's right here. So if you go to X, Y, and C, texturing X, Y, and C, they have these libraries that you can download. And let's see, where are they? Like this one. Face displacements, like lips, body, alphas, micro detail, like all of this. Like if you can get some of these maps for yourself, like, well, not that one, that one's like pores and stuff, like this face ones, like I recommend this one, like 175 alphas to skin. There we go, $20, like $20, and you get 175 files to do forehead, to do eye bags, to do lips, to do everything. Like if you're texturing a character, like this is the one. Like there's other options out there, of course. If you go into ArtStation, you can get some, but again, $20, guys, it's just like a steal. And then I'm not affiliated by them or anything. maybe we could get we could contact them and see if they want to do like some collaboration or something. But yeah, like these are just like super, super good. Like this skin alphas for sculpting from X, Y, and C. And then there's this guy, his name is Jonas Ronegarth, something like that. Let's see if we can get him. Yeah. So I've been following this guy for several years now, and he's like, in my opinion, one of the kings in terms of like kit bashing and elements. So this guy has libraries for everything, skin brushes, like all of this like decals or decorations for like medieval things, sci-fi elements like this one right here. Look at this, 325 hard surface alpha maps. And again, they're quite affordable. So for instance, this one right here, I think they're like, again, like 20. Oh, there you go, $6. So $6 and you get 325 hard surface hide alphas. Like, hey, it's just again, like a no-brainer. Can you do them yourself? Can you build them yourself? Of course, but like this is where you need to think about being efficient with your time. My advice, learn how to do one, so that if you ever need to do a custom one, you know how the process works. But it's very, very common for studios to buy this kind of like packages and use them on their projects. The only thing you need to be very careful of is if you're going to be buying any tool online, make sure that the license that you're buying is the right license. So it's not the same to be using or to be buying this standard license, which is for me to do like personal projects, right? Like portfolio pieces and things like that. Then it's for me to be doing commercial license, which is where I'm going to be using this alphas for a project that's actually going to be earning money, right? Then is it to me to buy this for a whole team and everyone's going to be using these alphas. In that case, you need this ones right here. And for instance, this educational license unlimited, I'm not entirely sure what it does, but just check the licenses, because you could potentially get into some issues if you use these things in a way that you're not supposed to. I'm going to give you a perfect example. Let's say you're building, I don't know, like a chest, right? And you download or buy this thing right here, and then you sell that chest as a 3D print for like D&D players. Even you did the chess from zero, from scratch, you did everything, but you did use this ones right here. That does not fall under standard use license. That would fall under commercial use license, because the alphas that you're using are going to be part of something that's going to be it's being sold, right? So it's just a $3 difference in this case. Sometimes the difference is bigger. You can see it's not the same for commercial use than a Team Studio license, but hey, like, just like play by the rules, like do the right thing. It's the best way to do this. Do you bake textures in Marmoset? Yes, I use Marmoset quite a bit to bake my textures. Not always, but I do use it frequently. Okay, let's go back to this one. For creatures, I think Jonas has some for creatures as well. There's another one that I've seen. He's got like some reptile like scales and things like that. But yeah, just browse. Make sure that the quality looks good. Make sure that you can get high quality formats. Like 32-bit is always a good idea to get like the best possible like detail. Check the reviews, of course. It's like buying anything. You need to make your research, right? But right now, those two are I think some good options for you guys. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do now. As you can see, I have a relatively like good basic shape for this boot. Let's like straighten it a little bit more, but I definitely want to clean it a little bit more. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my clip or my knife brush to remove like the bottom section here. That's gonna give me a super clean like flat area. And now, of course, I'm gonna go with my trim dynamic, and because it's supposed to be like leather or something, I'm gonna start like cleaning this up a little bit like this. Right? But that's going to ensure that this character is like really flat against the ground. So I'm always going to have a zero there that I can use to flatten everything. For students, it's a recommend. Yeah, for students, you can just use the basic license. Like the standard license. I have seen others use Marmoset for baking as well. What's the difference between Marmoset and Substance? There you go. This is what you want to check out. I'm not going to be able to cover everything right now, Iron Boy, but there's this video. Just look Marmoset versus Substance Painter, a Leal 3D on Google. And the first option, I made a comparison about the baking process. And there I explain why I think Marmoset is a little bit better. I wouldn't say like it's like night and day, but it is definitely, it gives you way more control. They are introducing some new features to Substance that are going to be coming very, very soon. But they're not out yet. I think they're on beta right now, where they include like offset painting and things like that. Again, if I'm being completely honest, like the difference is probably like a 5% difference in terms of quality. But I just like the Marmoset baking process a lot more. I like the Substance Painter texturing a lot more as well. So yeah, if you can mix and match, you're gonna get the best of both worlds. Are you planning to make a comparison in texture? Yes, that's one of the videos that we have planned. Haven't done it yet, but we're gonna do a comparison there. I think I already know who the winner is going to be. But again, both tools are really good. Like, that's the thing, and I've mentioned this. I think I mentioned that on that video. Competition breeds innovation, so it's good that there's competition. We can all be friends as well, as we did on. Did you guys see this week's video about like Blender and Maya? Like how you can jump from Blender to Maya like relatively quickly. Okay, so on this boot, I'm gonna add a seam line on the bottom. It's gonna go here. Of course, it's gonna go up. This. At what point should I switch my software, as I can do UV, but there are some softwares that make it easy? I'm still a beginner in 3D. My advice is, if you're a beginner, let's say you're in the first 2 years of your like learning process, right? Like you're a student or you're just learning, try to stick with as few softwares as you can for now. And I've mentioned this before. 3 softwares: a DCC application like Blender or Maya, a sculpting application like ZBrush or Blender, and a texturing application like Marmoset or Substance. That's it. That's all you need for like the basic stuff. Again, for modeling, texturing, that kind of stuff. if you because if you get, let's say, topology for retopology, and you get rhythm UV for UV like mapping on your elements, like, yes, it's gonna make your life easier. It's a very fun thing to be able to use more softwares, and they're very good softwares, but you don't really need them. And I would rather have a student spend some time like really learning the tools within the softwares that they're currently learning before jumping onto other elements, because then you're not gonna value the new tools as much if you haven't really done the work for on the other like softwares. Does that make sense? You kind of like, I know it's gonna sound horrible how I'm about to say this, but you kind of have to suffer a little bit through the default tools for a while before you jump to some of the other tools, just so that you can really understand and value why those tools are a little bit more efficient. If you want to do and jump ahead into one of the other tools, go for it. Like, it's just going to be a little bit more pricey, right? Because you're going to have to spend more money on getting the tools and the softwares. But it's better to master or to really like get really good at one of the elements before you jump onto some of the other ones. That makes sense? Or am I talking like crazy stuff right now? I have not seen it, man. I saw the first season. I think I saw season 2 as well of the boys. Haven't seen it. I'm gonna be completely honest. I have a very bad attention span, so I really have a hard time watching series or movies because I get distracted very easily. I get like bored very easily. It needs to really catch me. The series that caught me like bad was freaking The Pit. If you guys like medical like dramas, my god, that's such a good series. Can't wait for the new season. But The Pit is just like really freaking good. I have a 3D spam. Yeah, I think that's I was starting The Bear. Haven't seen that one, but I've heard good things about it, so I'm probably gonna be watching that. The Bear. There's another docu series that I saw from. Oh, I watched Night of the Seven Kingdoms from Game of Thrones. Really good one as well. Strongly recommend that one too if you like fantasy. That one was a fun, enjoyable watch. House of the Dragon was fine. Like, I tend to watch like those like big shows, to be honest. But no, The Boys I have not seen. Yeah, Friday. No, The Pit. Like, I got like when I saw the first season, I saw it like in 2 days as well. So it's like completely hooked to it. And then I normally am not one of those guys who's gonna like wait and see the episode as it airs. But for season 2, I told my wife Thursdays 8 p.m. don't bother me. I'm just gonna be here at the TV room. I'm just gonna watch it. She doesn't like all of the blood and the gore, so that's why she doesn't watch it with me. But yeah, like that one really caught me. Yeah, Night of the Seven Kingdoms was good, right? I enjoyed that one as well. Let's clean this up a little bit more. And yeah, right now, again, as you can see, this is just shaping up, adding a little bit of details and elements. It's not a super important part of the character. And remember, we're going a little bit stylized, hand painted, so I just need to have like the main idea of where things are going to be. But adding this like wrinkles and seam lines, it's a good way to do that. Do you have good expectations for the ZBrush UI overhaul? Yes, for the ZBrush UI, I think it's going to be a good thing. Because again, I've done and I've worked quite a bit on the ZBrush for iPad version, and I really enjoy it. I think it's really clean. I think it keeps things where they need to be. So I like it. And UVs is where I'm a little bit. Like I'm gonna see if we can get like some really good tools there. But I'm a little bit. What's the word? Like, not pessimistic. What's the word? When you're cautious, right? Like, I'm not sure if it's going to completely overhaul like the UV pipeline and it's gonna replace things like Maya or Resim, right? But again, similar to what happened with the retopology tools, which are amazing. They're really good for like quick iterations and quick like mix here and there. Let me look for some like boots. So I need some reference. Old folds. Some reference on the folds. There you go. I saw the first season of the Mighty Nine. No, I saw the first season of Vox Machina. Yeah, I saw the first season of Vox Machina. What season are they on right now? No, I'm not hesitant. Like when you don't want to get your hopes up. Like I don't want to get my hopes up. So, as you can see here, folds have this sort of like interesting shapes, like diamond shapes. That's what I'm trying to capture here. I've been playing around with Gnome Sculpt and I love their UI. Yeah, the UI from ZBrush for iPad I think is very close to Gnome Sculpt. I used Gnome Sculpt a little bit a couple of years ago when I broke my leg. You guys remember? Some of you guys were here. So I had to be resting for a couple of weeks, and ZBrush for iPad had not released yet. So I used Nomad on my iPad. It was fun. And I think there's a version for PC as well. Now here, of course, we're going to exaggerate things. So we have that like rhomboid shape, but we need to really push it. Managing expectations. That's a good way to put it, Kosa. Yes, exactly. I'm going to be managing my expectations because I don't want to get like super hyped and then be like disappointed if the tools are not living up to the expectations. Yeah, this is looking nice. Look at that. Looking at the silhouette, and I just want to make sure that we have a cool looking silhouette. So we're in a good spot right now. I need second part of that video because jumping to Maya from Blender feels painful. Yeah, we're gonna do that next week. So next week we're gonna have the second part of the Maya to Blender video, and we're gonna do the Blender to Maya video. So if you're a Blender user and you want to learn a little bit about Maya and how it works and understanding the main like functionality and the pros of that like system, I'm gonna be doing that video. As I mentioned on this week's video, there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't learn both. At least the basics of them, right? Like just how to move on one of them, how to like modify certain things, how to use some of the cool tools. For instance, I do think Blender has better curve tools than Maya does. But of course, Maya has better hair tools with XGen than Blender does. So from behind the robe, it looks sus? What do you mean? Yeah, it does look sus, right? I think I know what you mean. It's the beard, dude. It's the beard. You dirty guys. Let's see. Best sources for texturing and modeling references. Just real world, man. Pictures. Photographs. Museums. All of these things are important. That injury was something, man. A few hours ago, we had a mentorship class, and when I sent you the results, you told me that you felt it right. Yeah, it happened. It was horrible because it was a very stupid thing that I did back then. But I didn't secure the ladder well enough. And I'm quite heavy, so that of course contributed to the impact on my knee. And I was trying to be efficient. It's like, oh, let me just like jump this wall. I'm gonna use the ladder, and it was not a good decision. Mi abuelo solía tener varios libros de anatomía y de cosas para referencia. Yeah. No, someone asked me the other day my 3 favorite books for anatomy. Show them to him. I've shown this once before. But if you like books and you want to have like a good reference, these are my go-to. Dynamic Anatomy by Bernd Hogarth. Bernd Hogarth is an amazing artist, and this book is really good because not only does he shows the construction of all of the different parts of the body, but he also explains a little bit. Like there's text like explaining what is happening, names of the muscles, everything. He's very stylized, I would say. His stuff always reminds me like Corvette with all of this like heavy curvatures, but he's really, really good. Like I love this book by Bernd Hogarth. The other one that I really like is, of course, George Bridgman. Personally, one of my favorite artists in terms of like the construction of the human body. It doesn't have as much text as Hogarth, but there's still a lot of like very, very cool information. So if you can extrapolate the information, you're gonna get like some nice ideas. And yeah, this is another like really, really good book about like human anatomy. This is Drawing from Life by George Bridgman. And what I like about this book is at the end, there are like sections about like drapery as well. Yeah, there you go, like drapes and folds and things like that. So yeah, very, very good. I know right now the camera's not showing it as much, but hopefully if Alan does a little like short, he's gonna show some of these images right here. And yeah, this is another really good one. George Bridgman, Drawing from Life. And finally, one that he really helped me on my early stages is this one, ZBrush Digital Sculpting Human Anatomy. So this one was great because it goes through all of the anatomy as well as how to do the anatomy inside of ZBrush. This was done for a very old version of ZBrush. I think it was done for like ZBrush 3.8 or 4.1, something like that. Even had like a CD. I should have it like lying there somewhere. But amazing, amazing one by Madeline Scott Spencer. So really, really, really good one, this one. So these are like my three go-to anatomy books. And yeah, of course, David's daily practice and notes. David has been doing a lot of like anatomy study in the past couple of months, and yeah, pretty amazing. Yeah, Madeline Scott Spencer, she's an amazing artist. I'm not sure if she's still working at Weta, but she was working at Weta back in the day. Back when I like got that book. Amazing artist. I usually use PureRef and drop in all the real life reference. Yep. PureRef is amazing. Oh, of course, yeah, yeah, of course. I don't have the physical book, Kosa, but yeah, that's another great one. So another great one, if you guys want to add it to your library, either digital or physical, is the Anatomy for Sculpture ones. That one's another big one. She's with Cinecide now. Oh, nice to know. Yeah, no, she's been an amazing artist, and she also, like, I think the first tutorials that I learned ZBrush from was from her. She did like some Gnome workshop tutorials. Great artist. Okay. Moises Cure says, "Vine a ver el stream on Twitch para ganar puntitos." There you go. Yeah, welcome, my friend. Welcome to Twitch. I've been thinking about doing streaming on TikTok as well. What do you guys think about that? I know TikTok has its own reputation, but there's people there who watch the content. And I think we can do like I think it might be possible for us to be streaming TikTok, and then in Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Maybe even Instagram. I'm not sure. I've never done like a live on Instagram. Yeah. I think you can get paid as well. I just don't know how difficult it is to set it up. Like, can you set it up from OBS as well? Like, that will make it a lot easier for me. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, how am I gonna manage so many chats, right? Because right now, trying to go between like TikTok or Twitch and YouTube is already complex. No, just the setup. Like, the main thing is just gonna be the setup. Like, I've never done it, so I'm not sure how easy it would be. Yeah, I've seen some people. I actually it was funny. The other day I was just like browsing TikTok, and I got like a stream from someone doing like ZBrush sculpting, and it's like, oh, that's looking. I just commented, right, like, oh, that's looking pretty cool. And then she was like, oh my god, hey, I'm a huge fan of yours. I was like, oh no, I'm not here as a I'm not here as an instructor. I'm here as part of the audience. Don't worry. And she got a little bit nervous. But yeah, I think I should do that. Do some testing out and research in terms of how the algorithm works and of target audience. But yeah, too many chests. Yeah, and I don't want, like, I like, the one thing I couldn't do is like have like one day TikTok stream and another day like Instagram stream like that. Like I don't have time for that. Not enough hours in the day. But if I can manage a way to have that could work. I think you can get apps that combine the chats. Yeah, I think you can. The only problem that I've seen with that is that Twitch doesn't like when that happens. Like I can have the chat and I can read the chat, like what I'm doing right now with YouTube, right? Like I'm reading the YouTube chat, but I cannot have both chats being shown as the same one. I could have multiple chats being shown, but that's just like a mess. Like the screen's gonna be like completely overwhelmed, right? So it's again like that's why I need to do a little bit of research, because if I combine the chats, I think that's breaking the rules for Twitch, and I can get suspended. I don't think you get banned, but I think you do get suspended. So just want to be safe. I'm gonna confess one of my guilty pleasures, but I use TikTok a lot to watch Pokemon cards. It's one of my guilty pleasures. So I'll be doom scrolling and I'll be like, oh, he's getting a hit. It's fun. If I stream my work, there'd be so many segments where I'm just spinning them all around thinking. Yeah, that's the for like this is like I knew this was gonna happen, for instance, with this character right here with Gnome. And I think it's good that people see that you're not always like moving forward, right? Like sometimes it's just a lot of thinking, figuring out something, like making sure things are working the way you expect them to work or the way you want them to work. This is normal, guys. Like I know sometimes when you watch content and you see like the time lapses and everything's being done super fast and someone finishes like an amazing character in like 2 hours, that's not the real world. That's not how it works in the studio. There's approvals that need to be accepted. There's like artistic changes. There's like modifications. There's tweaks. So it's very normal for things to take a little bit longer than you might expect. And that's something that took me a while to understand, because I got so used to like content creation that I was like rushing through things. And then when I've gotten into some projects and they're like, no, dude, you have like 3 days to do, I don't know, a barrel. It's like, what, really? It's like, yeah, it needs to be a really good barrel, right? Like really freaking good. But take your time. Like make sure that you spend the time to make sure that every single step is done properly. So yeah. Should I open it or should I keep it sealed? Yeah, I got my own little packs right here. Like I'm not gonna stream myself opening packs, but I enjoy opening packs every now and then. My kids loves it. Like it's kind of like our family activity. If she behaves properly at her school, she's in kindergarten right now, and she earns a pack, and we go and buy one pack at a 7-Eleven here close to the house, and then we see if we get like a cool one. I don't have one right now. I don't have one. I like all of the ones that I have here are already open. But I'll see if I can get one, and we'll open one in stream. What would character artists in big productions be tasked with in between character work? Do they usually... Yeah, props. You're usually going to be doing props. Weapons, armor pieces, armor clothing or clothing. Like most character artists nowadays are doing a lot of like costumes. You know how games are nowadays where they sell you the skins, right? So you're going to be doing a lot of skins. So you're not going to be doing as many like anatomy and characters and stuff like that. You're probably going to be doing skins. Like trench coats and jackets and boots and like belts and holsters or whatever, depending on the game, of course. But yeah, it's very common to be doing a lot of like variations for the skins of your character. If you think about Elden Ring, think about all of the different like armors that there are on the game, right? So a character artist is going to be doing a lot of armor variations, a lot of weapon variations. Would love to see you, David, and Alan playing something together and just everybody having fun and talking. We've tried it before, but no, I don't think I'm a great like game streamer, to be honest. I'm a better like 3D streamer, because when I play games I get like really into it, and then I forget to read the chat or to talk. And the streams that we've done where I showcase games or review games and things like that, they haven't been as successful as the 3D ones. Which is fine, it's fine. Everyone has their own, like, forte, right? I listen to Polish Cow. I don't know who Polish Cow is while modeling. Okay. I think we're in a good position here with the shoe. Again, I don't want to do it like super intense. I'm gonna have a little bit of silhouette. Let's see how this looks. I think I'm gonna add, like, I don't see this on the concept, but I hate when shoes are just like empty. Kind of like how this folds on top a little bit, so I'm gonna do that. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna push this in and create like a bump that goes on top of the rest of the boot. Debería ser un canal de gaming en español, que sea tu alter ego. Hombre, brother, si tuviera tiempo de hacer más canales, haría uno de gaming, pero no hay tiempo, no hay tiempo. There's no time, my friends. Too many responsibilities. Family to support, work to do, videos to record, art to learn. I barely get any time for myself. But it's fun. I enjoy this. This is why I love Friday live streams. Like, I really enjoy being here, guys, because this is kind of like my fun time, my free time, where I can just like sculpt something for fun and just enjoy the process, right? Be here with you guys, learn new things, create cool stuff. It's just fun. I'm studying BFX in Belgium, and a big part of the course is environments. They force us to use Unity, which is very annoying. Not only do I hate Unity, but also, yeah, Unity, I don't like Unity. I've been working like, we just finished, or we're about to finish a project, and it was done in Unity, because the programmer knows how to do Unity. I hate it, man. Like, I never can get it to look the way I want it to. I feel like I have way more control inside of Unreal. Now, I'm not saying Unreal is great. It also has its flaws, right? But I at least feel like I can make things look easier. I'm really glad to find your channel last year. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Yeah, and thank you, everyone. Thank you, guys. I'm always going to be thankful for the opportunity that you guys give me to be doing this project right here. It's thanks to you that this community has grown so much. I think we're one of the biggest 3D channels on YouTube. Like, of course, we're not nowhere near close like a Blender Guru's channel, right? That one's like 3 million like subscribers, something like that. But we're really close to 100K, and not a lot of like 3D channels get to 100K. So if we get there, it's all thanks to you guys. Am I doing manual retopology for a clean mesh? Yes, I think I am going to be doing manual retopology. You guys want to jump into a little bit of retopology before we finish today's stream? We'll have like one more hour to go, but I think we can do retopology. And I think we can actually benefit from retopologizing this. Should we do the retopology here inside of ZBrush? Should we challenge ourselves to do that and see how far we can push it? I think that would be a cool option. And for instance, this asset right here, it's a relatively simple asset that I think could benefit quite a bit from that. The only thing I'm gonna add now is like the little border on the top, like the flap you usually get. So I'm just gonna quickly sculpt this. There you go. See how this starts adding complexity? Yeah, let's do ZBrush retopo. But I'm gonna have to save this in just a second. There we go. Yeah, I like that boot. I think this looks like a clean boot. We can still improve it a little bit, but in general, I think we're in a good position. We got some like interesting silhouettes. It looks fun. It looks stylized. And I think we can exaggerate that stylization just a little bit more. I always struggle with exaggeration, to be honest. I remember I had an amazing teacher. I had a teacher back in school. Back when I was in Gnome. Shout out to Jared Krichevsky. Some of you guys might have heard his name. So Jared Kuchepski, an amazing concept artist and sculptor. He taught creature design, I think was the class that I took with him. Amazing dude. And that was the main criticism that he gave me when I was like delivering my stuff. He's like, dude, you're not pushing your silhouette as much. Like, you're keeping things way too controlled, way too like traditionally humanoid. And he encouraged me to really push the silhouette, like play with those angles, play with those like sharpness. And I remember I told him, I struggle. I feel like things are gonna break if I do this. Like, no. Like, you need that you need that exaggeration to really make sure your stuff actually pops, like actually looks interesting. Because without that, it just looks boring. So that was one of the big things that he shared with me. Okay, cool. So this is what we're gonna do. We're going to save this tool. So save as. This is gonna be Gnome 004. There you go. Always increment and save, guys. It's one of the advices I'm gonna give everyone. You want to make sure that you have backups in case something happens, something gets corrupted. Maru Kogo Gabriel, thank you for the donation. Man says, hey, if I've been working on a model and I would love to get your opinion on it, what would be the best way to get you to have a look? So easiest way is through portfolio review. We're gonna have portfolio review next week. So if it's like quite far ahead, that's probably the best way to do it. You can also go to the Discord channel, and if you go here to the Discord, here's our Discord, you can submit it here to the works in progress and tag me so that I like look at it. Sometimes there's so many messages, and I do get a lot of like notifications all the time. Like you can see right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different people messaging me. So it takes a while for me to go through all of them. Sometimes I'm not able to do that. But yeah, here on the Whips channel, just submit your stuff and tag me, and I'm gonna make an effort to really be there for you, my friend. Now, if you want to have like a one-on-one session, I do have mentorship sessions. Those are, of course, paid, but you can send me a DM on Discord and I can give you more information about that. And that you're going to have a full hour of my full attention. So we can work on making sure that you clarify any questions that you might have. Okay. That's usually the way to do it. Okay. So let's now jump into retopology for this guy right here. I'm gonna clone the tool so that I'm working on this clone and I'm not being affected by any of the other elements. And the retopology brush is actually very simple. The retopology brush lives here instead of ZBrush. Just press BR for retopology, and it's this one right here. I'm gonna click, and when you click on top of your object, like here, it's gonna ask you, do you want to create a new mesh or do you want to retopologize the topology of this mesh? And in this case, I do want to create a new mesh. Now, the tricky thing, the thing that like really made me like it was a little bit tricky to understand at first, is the fact you're actually gonna have 2 brush sizes when working with this. You're gonna have the brush size to draw the polygons, and then you're gonna have the draw size to actually create the polygons. So to draw the polygons is very simple. You literally just click and you start adding points, similar to like Maya or Topogon or any of this like other like softwares, right? So you literally just click and you start drawing the points that you want, like that. And when you press a spacebar, a new draw size is going to appear, as you can see right there. And that's the draw size that's going to be looking for the area, trying to find 4 points so that it can actually create the face. So I'm going to press spacebar and then S to make this a little bit bigger. And as you can see, when the range is big enough, I'm going to be able to just like click and create the element. So spacebar, click, 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 and there you go. So that's the first way in which you're going to be able to build your element, right? So just hit spacebar and start like drawing your little squares. Now, once we're here, again, we could, for instance, I'm gonna press S to make my main draw size very small so that I can just move like some of these points around. But you're gonna have 2 independent draw sizes. That's one way to work here. Another way to work is with shift. Is it shift? No, it's spacebar. So if you press the spacebar and you click on an edge, you're gonna be able, for instance, to insert an edge loop if you want. You can also press Alt and click, and that's going to allow you to extrude an edge. So all of these tools right here, for instance, here, if we just want to extrude, and as you can see, when I'm like extruding this guys right here or creating new points, it automatically will try to find the underlying geometry, right? So it becomes relatively simple to do. Yes, I have a video about all of these tools in the YouTube channel, so you can look it up. We did it's like I think we did like we did a live stream. Remember, we did a live stream But then on that live stream, we took the information from that live stream and we created the video. And also just like snap like that. There you go. So as you can see, that gives us the information that we need right there. There's a couple of other options that we can do. So for instance, let's say over here, if I go here to squares and grids, and I know that I'm gonna have like a normal like 3x3 grid over here, I could just click one button and then click, for instance, this 3x3 square, and then press Alt and drag to drag that big like element right there, and then just hit click, and there you go. So that's gonna project that like big map. So instead of having to draw all of those like squares right there, it's a lot easier to just, again, like click, Alt, and drag to draw this thing right here, and then just click. Then we can just finish mixing these guys right there. So yeah, it's quite handy. It has some really cool tools, to be honest. I'm still way faster if I do this in Topogon because I've used Topogon for longer. It's not a bad tool. Not a bad tool at all. ZBrush has built-in 1 to 2 mesh for... Yeah, this is relatively new. So they added this... What was it? Like 2 months ago? No. Late last year. I think it was late last year. Like in November last year. Or December last year. I think that's when they added this like retopo brushes. But yeah, they're good. I like it. I like them, to be honest. Now here, for instance, I'm gonna switch the flow a little bit to account for the wrinkle, right? And I particularly like this dragging option right here when I want to like really have like big controls of the topology. Why are some blue? Because of the polygroup. So when I created them, they created a new polygroup. Right now polyframe is turned on so that we can actually see what's going on. But we can quickly like remove that if you don't like it. Like if I just press Ctrl W, I'm just gonna make sure that everything is the same polygroup again. That's the easiest way. They have that line. I'm not gonna use it right now. But there's a way to draw some lines and then like map the topology to those lines. I just find it a little bit more finicky. I'm just gonna go a little bit more traditional here. So what I'm trying here, this is important. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to create topology that's very cylindrical, right? Everything should be sort of like flowing into itself. That's what I want to try to create. One thing that I really like is the fact that you can use triangles. And we've mentioned this before. Triangles are your friends if you know how to use them properly. So don't be scared of using triangles if you need them. And I like the fact that ZBrush here allows you to do that very quickly. See you later, Mango. Have a great one. So here, for instance, I'm just going to add points to create a little border going down. There we go. We could also extend that edge. Have a little bit of a bigger draw size. Go. Very camera dependent, so it really needs to find. If not, we can just put this down. Retopology is always slow though. Doesn't matter what software you're using. It takes a little bit of time. So just be patient. I love retopology. So satisfying. It's fun. It's a fun process. I also like it, to be honest. There are some people that really hate retopology. I learned to love it. And I got good at it. I consider myself to be really good at retopology. Not only like fast, but also like trying to, because to me it's kind of like solving a puzzle, right? Like you always need to figure out the proper workflow and stuff. That's what I teach on the retopology course. Which, by the way, you can follow that retopology course in any software. There's people who have done it with Blender. There's people who have done it with Maya. I use Topogon during the course. I think you actually get a discount if you want to buy your Topogon license there. but you can do any software you want, because the principles of retopology and in 3D in general, the principles of 3D are universal. So it doesn't really matter what's your software of choice. What matters is that you know how to do the things that need to be done, right? Go. That here and here. Let's see. I gotta retopo 2 characters for my exams right now. Joy. Have a good time. Best advice, as I've always said, is get your favorite music going. Play with playlists or like a movie if you are one of those people that like to watch movies while working. And just go for it, man. Focus on your grid. Focus on having like even topology, clean loops. Bits for animation. You need to follow specific rules, of course. Just go for it. Just go for it. Here's where it gets tricky, right? Any time you have like really intense silhouette changes, you're gonna have to figure things out a little bit differently. So all of this like big silhouette changes right here, I have to be careful. I mean, I'm probably gonna have to use some like triangles to really cover that like area. When I retopo for a while during the day, I do it in my dreams that night. I used to have that happen to me with modeling. Like I would go outside and I would look at like lampposts or doors or cars, and I could sort of like picture or visualize the the topology that you needed for them right there. But at that point, yeah, just go and touch some grass, man. Like our job is very fun, but don't let it ruin your life. It's a balance after all, right? Like that. For instance, here things are getting way too intense. Like they're getting a little bit too stretched out. Stretched out is the proper word. There was a way. Was a way to I think there was a way to delete a face, but I don't remember what it was. What I'm gonna do instead is I'm just gonna add a triangle there. That way it doesn't get as intense, but I'm definitely gonna need another division here. So I'm gonna use a spacebar to add an edge loop right there. Need more geometry. Retopo jumping ship. Yeah, kind of like that. Which is better to retopo, Maya or ZBrush? If it's a fast thing like this one, it really doesn't matter. If I need more precision, I'm definitely gonna jump into Maya. But like as I've mentioned before, I normally retopo instead of Topogon, so Topogon is my go-to for like super, I don't want to say super advanced retopology, but if I want to have the best control in terms of topology, I'll do Topogon. For instance, here, because I don't want to have too much like geometry, I'm definitely gonna have a couple more triangles, which again is fine. Triangles are fine, guys. See, I hate when people like complain about triangles. I understand why they do. Like most people are taught that triangles are bad when they're learning modeling, but they're not actually that bad. And there's specifically certain objects where you benefit quite a bit from having triangles. So don't disqualify triangles as part of your modeling process just because they're triangles. Triangles are important in subdivision workflows, for instance, where you want to have like a very even subdivision on your element. But if it's going to be something that's not going to deform, or the deformation of the object is not going to be as intense, then triangles are perfectly fine. And sometimes they can be even like the best choice to make sure that you're capturing the silhouette the best you can. So stop triangle phobia, please. Triangles are important for our processes. Use them. Learn how to use them. Can you change the depth of the rear topo brush? Yes, I believe you can. I believe you can. Right there. There. And the cool thing is, this low poly that I'm doing right now, I know it's taking a little bit longer than expected, but it's going to be my low poly. Like, this is already... It's probably going to be the low poly. I need to decide whether or not I have the proper density. But I think this is probably going to be the low poly that we're going to be using for the character. And it really depends on how intense we want. There you go. Let's add edge loop right there and an edge loop right here. That's another like important tip. Don't work with more polygons that you need at first. For instance, here, this area, right? It's a lot easier for me to just create this extrusion right here, and then I'll add the extra edge loop rather than trying to draw every single point. It's a very common mistake. People will try to draw every single little square, and it just takes forever to do. So no, when you're dealing with big areas that are usually flat, like this one right here, just extrude your edges like really long, like this. And once you get to the limit of the area, that's when you insert an edge loop, right? So you just insert the edge loop at the end to make this whole process a lot easier. So for instance, here, I'm just gonna press a space bar and just insert an edge loop right there, and that's it. It's gonna auto conform to the area. And instead of drawing 20 squares, I just drew, what was it, like 5 or what, 10? Any comments on ArtStation allowing AI? Not much I can do about it. I don't own ArtStation. It's a shame. I know there was another site that was trying to compete against ArtStation when they introduced the AI stuff. Don't remember what the name of the site is. Some of you guys might. If you want to jump and make a statement, well, that's fine. Unfortunately, ArtStation is like industry standard, so to like. Guess we can say like that, right? It's a very important part of the industry, so I'm not gonna stop using it. Not Behance. No, not Blue Sky. No, Blue Sky was the Twitter competitor, right? Kara. I think it was Kara, right? So yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that they're allowing AI. I do see more and more negativity towards AI, though. I'm not sure if you guys share the same thing, but people are realizing AI is not as cool as it was a couple of years ago, right? So I think that sentiment is gonna help us as artists, because people are gonna realize, yeah, I want my stuff to be done by artists. I don't want AI. It just looks bad, right? Like, I think AI has, again, its place. I think there are things where AI can definitely help. We just gotta be smart about it. Because as tools, they're very, very good. Like, we use AI, for instance, for subtitles, right, Alan? I think you downloaded a tool recently that gave us like cleaner, better subtitles, like more context aware about what kind of like things we're talking about. I think that's a good use for AI, that kind of stuff. I know people who do translation for a living might be like, oh no, you shouldn't. But I just think that there's a specific, thank you. There's a specific areas where AI is fine. For instance, my dad, he works in training for companies. He does like team buildings and things like that for leadership and elements. And he's asked me to translate documents for him. It's like, I'm not gonna like translate every single word. I'll use AI. It's gonna give me a translation, and then I go through it and I just like fact check and make sure that it's not inventing anything or translating things wrongly. That kind of like tools, I think it's very cool, because it's just boring work that AI can really take care of. But the creative stuff, no, man. I don't think it's the best of ideas, to be honest. And another thing that I saw is that it's getting really expensive, right? Like people who are using AI for like coding and things like that, and they need like really advanced like models. It's becoming really expensive, and it's becoming cheaper to just hire someone who knows how to code, that to me is very funny, to be honest. I find that to be quite the, what's the word? Ironic. That everyone started firing people because they thought that AI is going to be cheaper, and now because of all of the tokens that they need to use and stuff, it's way more expensive. I'm personally just ethically opposed to AI. That environment is getting ruined. Yeah, no, definitely the environment and the data centers and everything. I think we're gonna find a balance. I think there is a place for AI, but we need to be aware of where that is. Like it's a technology, right? At the end of the day, like imagine if we go back to the times of like the Industrial Revolution with like tractors and steam engines and all that kind of stuff. Of course, people were going to be angry because it was going to be replacing a lot of things. But nowadays, you cannot have farms and we cannot have society as we know it without those tools. So it is important to know how to properly, I think, introduce tools. I think that's the what's the word? That's the secret to any technology, like making sure that we use it in such a way that it's as ethical as possible. The reason why I definitely despise AI for generative stuff is because it steals from all of the information, right? That we have from people who have created amazing artworks. But there's a discussion to be made. Did you guys see this? I want to know your guys' opinion. Did you see this exercise that someone did where they shared on Twitter that the AI created a painting in the style of Monet, and then everyone was like saying how bad it was because it was in the style of Monet and it was not right and whatever. But then he confessed that no, it's actually just like a painting that was not as famous from Monet, but it was a Monet painting. Like it was an original one. But because he said it was done with AI, everyone was bashing and saying how horrible it was and how bad and how far away from the original Monet it was. But in reality, it was actually a Monet painting. So it was a really interesting thought exercise, I think, because it shows that we can be quite emotional about certain things without actually fact checking a lot of elements. So what makes a painting or an element bad? It's an interesting question, I think. I think it's one of those good thought exercises. Question is, can you have something made by AI that is actually good? It's not AI slop, or do you need someone to clean it up, or like where do you draw the line, right? And again, I don't have the answer. I'm not advocating for any of the sites right now. I'm just saying it's an interesting discussion. Chamberlain Props says, the hard pill to swallow is that we are never going back to a world without AI. We're just going to have to find the best way to exist with it. Exactly. I agree there. Like AI is not going anywhere. It's not like we can just like completely like erase everyone's mind and pretend that AI doesn't exist, right? I think it's about the process. Without process, there's nothing to analyze. Therefore, it's boring. I have my own take, but it might be a little bit controversial. I'm going to say it anyway. Just an opinion, though. It's just an opinion. I think people who use AI to create stuff and they don't want to pay for like an artist to develop something are people who are not gonna pay anyway. Like it doesn't matter if you offer them the best artist out there at an affordable price. They're just too cheap, and they'll just rather use again AI to do it. How many, like, I'm not sure if this is happening in your countries, but here in Mexico, man, oh, it's everywhere. People are just using AI generated avatars to create like what's the word, like ads for their companies, right? So they'll like say create a Pixar style kit that's selling tacos, and they'll do that. And it looks horrible. It just looks so generic, so basic, right? But that person, he was not gonna go out and hire a graphic designer. He was just gonna find the cheapest, like, if AI didn't exist, he would just go online and grab a freaking Mickey Mouse or Bugs Bunny like picture and use that as part of their logo, because they don't care, right? They don't value the work of an artist. They don't value originality. They don't value good design. So that's who the tools are gonna be for, I think. Like, if they're not gonna value any of that, then it doesn't matter how hard you try to convince them that AI is bad or that it looks bad. They just care about the bottom line. They just care about having an image and then using that image to sell whatever product it's going to sell. And unfortunately, there is a market for that. There's going to be people who are being like, oh, that's very cute. Yeah, I'm going to buy that. Well, at that point, I think our only chance or only option is to offer or try to offer another alternative, right? Like another solution, and hopefully find a market that does value that. Like they're like, yeah. It's unfortunate. It's really, really unfortunate. But it's about value, like what people value. And if they don't value art, they're not going to value it. My advice is don't focus on those people. Don't try to convince them. Don't try to what's the word? Yeah, don't try to fight them. Another thing I'm gonna say, and this is important as well, because I saw this post the other day. I think it was on Reddit. It was funny. So, a graphic design student was graduating, and as part of their graduation, their parents asked someone to do, again, like an AI drawing of her in this like picture version, and they gave her that as part of their graduation gift, right? And she was like offended as hell. It's like, how could you send me this? I'm graduating as a graphic designer, and this is what you're like giving me. It's like an insult, right? And I didn't like write anything, right? Like I always stay away from online discussions because they're pointless. But I thought about it, it's like, yeah, I get it. I know it feels wrong that your parents are giving you a picture of yourself as a Pixar character as part of your graduation gift when you're a graphic designer. Like, yes, it sucks. But they're not doing it to spite you, right? Like, that's the other thing. Like, when people are doing, like, their Ghibli versions of themselves, or, like, their Pixar versions, or, like, a Renaissance version, they're not doing it as a sort of, what's the word? Like a, oh man, what's the word? Freaking English is failing me right now. It's not a statement, right? It's not a statement of like death to the artist, we don't want art. No, people are just having fun. And I know there's people who are not having fun and they are indeed doing it as a statement, but I would say most people out there, it's not a statement. So chill guys. Just let people have their fun. It's okay. Exactly, they're not being malicious. That's my point. They're not being malicious. Because I also don't like this like super righteous positioning where we're like, oh, but every single drawing that is done in a style that it's not the original artist style is an insult to artists everywhere, and they're chill out. This has been done for thousands of years. People doing bad copies or just like how many, like I think I can say this because I live in Mexico. I know how piracy works, right? Like people like pirate and use things that they shouldn't be using like every single day. There's a concert and they're selling fake shirts and fake merch. That's wrong. And I wish that everything was done in the right way, but pretending that that's like killing industries, I think it's an exaggeration, to be honest. Yeah, it's just neat. It's just fun. Now, if you do want this to do as a business, that's where I would say, yeah, if you want to do it properly, hire someone, hire an artist, or try to collaborate if possible. And that's another thing. That's I do have this position because I saw that. I think we talked about this the other day, right? I saw in a Reddit post someone who was doing a trailer for their game, and they used AI music for the trailer, and people were calling him out because of that. Instead of focusing on the gameplay and on the game experience, they were calling him out because he used AI music to generate the music for the trailer, just the trailer, not even the game, just the trailer. Right? And he was like, oh yeah, I don't have budget to hire like a composer or someone. And people were like, oh, try using some like free music instead, or some like stock elements. Well, if we want to be authentic to this kind of like line of thought, I think something that everyone should do is, well, offer to work for free. But then you're going to go into that debate of, no one should be working for free. You should always charge for work, which I also agree. But we cannot have everything, guys. Like, if we want to show people that art is important and that the actual artist's input is important, then sacrificing every now and then and doing some work for free, or pro bono, as they say, right, might be the way to do it. Like, hey, maybe I'm like in my case, right? Like, I'm a 3D modeler, and maybe I want to help someone, and I'll just do a couple of models for him for his new indie game for free, just because I want to collaborate. I might not get any like money back, but that shows that I care about art, right? So again, it's complicated. It's really complicated. But it's not something new, by the way. This has been happening for a long time with other tools and other like situations, but that's the nature of art, I guess. Art is complicated. I used to teach at the Tecnológico de Monterrey. I taught there for like a year and a half, I think. Like 3 semesters, I think I taught there. This was back in 2019, 2020. Those 2 years. No, not anymore. Unfortunately, teaching gigs don't pay as well anywhere in the world. There are some schools that pay nicely, but some of them are very cheap. They don't want to pay. I've shared this before. I'm not gonna say what school, but I had a school when I started teaching that paid me $3 per hour. $3 per hour. Yeah, that did not felt good. That was not. I mean, the experience was good. I like the students there, of course, teachers, everyone was there, always very cool. But $3 per hour, guys. Yeah, not great. But funnily enough, that was the school, or when I was there, I met my current business partner. So that's why I sometimes mention, you might need to take a job here or there that might not be the most well-paid job ever, but if that opens up opportunities for you, if that helps you with your net worth, or it helps you with your portfolio or something, it might be worth it. It might be worth it. It might not. I've had jobs that I've taken that I thought were going to help me somehow, and they ended up being horrible experiences. That's just life. I'd rather open the juice bar. Yeah, that's, yeah. Hey, I completely agree with that sentiment, my friend. And it was horrible because it was $3 per hour, and I only was getting like 3 hours per like day, and I only got like 2 or 3 days per week. So, and it cut my whole schedule up, so I couldn't like book any other thing or any other job because I was like busy with that one. It was tough. It was tough. But I think that was before I got married, to be honest. So I had a little bit more free time, and I could afford to take that hit. And thanks to that, I was able to get other opportunities later on. My best teacher in 2004 left to work on Star Wars halfway through the year. Oh, that's amazing. It's pretty cool. Is this a commission? No, this is a portfolio piece that I want to do for myself. We've been working on this for a couple of live streams now. Almost done, guys. What was that? Yeah, around an hour, right? I think it took me about an hour, probably like 40 minutes to do the retopology for this boot. Almost there. So here now we just need to create like a little border for the inside of the boot. Yo estudié la UDG, la ingeniería de videojuegos. Creo que les pagaban mejor, aunque no todos. Yeah, it depends. Unfortunately, here in Mexico, the pay is really bad for teachers. Like, the best I was ever paid, I think it was actually in the Tecnológico de Monterrey. They paid me like, at that time, I think it was like 400 pesos per hour, which is like $20. I know it might not seem like much for some people in the US or in the Europe, but here in Mexico, $20 an hour is actually quite it's decent, like quite nice. There's people who make that in a whole day, so the cost of living here is different, of course, so that allows for some flexibility there. Does this retopo brush have a relaxed option? Yeah, just smooth. Just smooth. Gonna make this draw size a little bit bigger. Smooth is just going to relax the topology in certain areas if you want to. But there you go. That's it, guys. With this, we're like this is exactly like any other mesh that you might think. The only thing that some of you might be asking about is how can I remove or get out of this like mode, right? Like let's say I'm finished, like I don't want to do any retopology anymore and I want to get rid of that like orange square right here. Very simple. The only thing you need to do is duplicate. Just duplicate, and this one right here you delete. Hit OK, and there you go. So now this one right here is a perfectly like normal traditional like model. You can do whatever you want with this, whatever you want. It's exactly the same as what you would expect. So for instance, here I have this hole here on the top. I'm just gonna go to geometry and then modify topology and just close hole. We're gonna get that right there. And once I have that, I am going to go, for instance, to see modeler, and I'm gonna do Q mesh polygroup all, and I'm just gonna push this in. Actually, let's not do that. Let's do an extrusion instead. Extrusion polygroup all. There you go. So that we create the little border right there, right? And we could go and just like bevel the edge loop, for instance. Yeah, like at this point, all of the tools that you would normally use for your modeling techniques, well, here they are. Like that's our low poly boot right there. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go back to my character right here, and I'm going to say append, and we're going to append that retopo mesh right there. Where's the other boot? Actually, before I do that, let's go back here to the boot itself. Ah! No! Why does God hate me right? You gotta love 3D, right? Yeah, I know. This is why we save. I was about to save. We get a save here, a quick save. How much work did we lose? Hopefully not that much. Let's see. Let's take a look. Okay, not that much. So as you can see, we lost the sole and the top part, so not that bad. Let me, what do we do? Yeah, that was bad. I mean, we just have to continue, right? There's not much we can do. I'm gonna save this. Let's save this real quick. So let's save this as Gnome 4. And then I'm gonna save this. I'm saving C tools here. And let's go here and let's save this as a boot retopo here. Boot topo. There we go. Ah, the joys of 3D. I know. Is it harder than you think to find a good artist that's also a good teacher? Abe's one of the best. If you're just starting, you're lucky to find a bit. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, this is something that took me a while to understand, and it's something that others have confirmed for me. It's not something that I personally feel. I think I'm a good artist. Like, I think I'm a very proficient artist, but people have told me that I'm a really, really good teacher. So I've been, my career has been throughout the years quite focused on the teaching side of things, which I think it's a good honorable career, if I may say so myself as well. So yeah, I do think being a teacher is a different skill set than being an artist. Like you can be, again, like both, right? Like there's nothing wrong about being both, a really good artist and a really good teacher, but not every teacher is a good artist and not every artist is a good teacher. I've had really amazing artists who were really bad teachers, and I had to sort of like extrapolate the information that they were trying to share. Like, their portfolio is amazing, but when I try to ask them questions about specific workflows, they don't know how to explain it properly so that you can actually learn. And I've also had really good teachers. Like, they can teach you all of the skills that you want, all of the tools, all of the softwares, and maybe their portfolio is not the best one out there, but you learn way more with them than with an artist that's not a good teacher. So they're different skills, definitely different skills. My goal is to be, of course, both of them. Like, I want to be a great artist and I want to be a great teacher. Not everyone likes to teach. I have a friend who's really good at specific art style, and I've begged him several times, like, please, dude, let's do a course together. Like, your style is so good. Like, I want to see what you can teach others. And it's like, no, man, I suck as a teacher. I can't do it. I get too nervous. I repeat myself too much. I can't explain it. I'm really good at doing it myself, but when I try to explain it, I'm not good. And that's quite respectable as well. So not everyone's cut to be a teacher, right? Do you have any experience working with STL imports? I'm trying to create a workflow from parametric hat to game art, at least for... Yeah, so if you export an STL, you probably want to Dynamesh as fast as you can, or as soon as you can, to generate like the mesh that you actually need to work with. The only problem that I find with some STLs, my friend, is that some of them are thin. Like, they don't have thick walls or everything, or they're not like not watertight, and that's a problem, because when you try to work with STLs that are not watertight and you try to Dynamesh, they just get like completely destroyed. So sometimes I've had some situations where I just like it's a lot faster for me to just rebuild them from scratch. So I just start over and I just like use the STL as a mesh, and then I retopologize and create new geometry from it. It's very annoying when I have to do that, to be honest, but it's something that I've had to do several times in my career. It's a very weird mesh right there. I'm not sure why that's looking like that. I have to take a look in just a second. Thank you, Kosa. Thank you. Says, after taking a couple of your courses, I can vouch for you being a good teacher. Thank you. Always learning, always improving, my friend. Always learning. The quality you have which makes you better than other teachers, or even if you're angry on a student when he's not able to understand, you still don't yell or make someone feel bad. You try to switch techniques. Yeah. I consider myself very patient. I consider myself very patient. Yeah, I'll save this. After I finish with the retopo, I'll save. We're fine. I saved a couple of minutes ago, so. I think one of the things that I enjoy the most about being a teacher is seeing my students get it. When they get it, when I can see either in their faces or in their work, they're like, dude, now I get it. All of these principles, all of this information, the techniques, the tools, and then seeing the result that they're able to achieve. Oh man, that's so satisfactory. It's just like, it's like the best gift ever. When you can see their genuine growth as artists, it's like, and I've gotten messages throughout the years. It's like, oh, hey, thank you so much. Your course helped me get a job. Or thanks to your course, I was able to start my own little business. Like, all of those messages make my day. They're a good balance to all of the other negative messages we get on social. People can get really intense sometimes. We got our own fair share of trolls. It's funny. Most of our videos, I don't know who it is. It's like a secret troll, like a secret hater. But every time we upload a video or a short, in the first couple of minutes, like, I'm sure this person is like subscribed and has like the little bell and everything to get like the notification, because in the first couple of minutes we always get a dislike. Always. Like, we can have 99.5% like approval rate on our like videos or like our shorts, but there's always a dislike. Always. And I'm pretty certain it's the same person. He doesn't like what we do. Sorry. We're gonna keep doing it. It's just funny. Yeah, he's like, who hurt you, bro? everything okay? That's part of it. That's what they tell you. Like if you go to any streamer or any YouTuber or any content creator, first thing they're gonna tell you is ignore the comments. Ignore the comment section. Like, try not to get affected by it. I'm having trouble finding out how dense my mesh has to be. What is this model getting built for? For games or beauty render? So this is gonna be for games, and because of that, it's definitely gonna be optimized. But I don't want to go like super low poly. So probably for the whole character, I'm gonna try to keep it at like 20k triangles, 25k triangles, something like that. My nemesis, yeah, that's right. This is the areas where it gets a little bit tricky. Start getting into really small. Really small areas. Man. Now this is bugging out again. Ugh. One second, guys. You know what? I am going to take this into Maya to finish it up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do go see all. And what this should do is it should send both elements, so the high poly and the low poly, to Maya. Hopefully it doesn't crash. No se puede ocultar la otra parte de la bota para que no... No, you can't. Racy, what's up, my friend? Welcome, welcome. We're about to be finishing, guys. We're in the final stretch, in the home stretch right now. Home stretch right now. Oh god. Let's wait for Maya to load here. And that's gonna be pretty much it. I think once we're done with that part of the character, like most of the main areas are ready. Probably remember, next week we have portfolio review, but after that one, we're probably gonna be focusing heavily on retopology. Is there a reason you're retopoing by hand rather than series measure? Using polygroups, I feel like the control of topology is better with series measure. I'm just trying to optimize things quite a bit, Alico Gillespie. Yes, series measure is definitely a good option, but because I want to keep a low poly count, I want to have like really specific control of where my elements are going to be. That's the main reason. I want to have like a very, very specific like flow of topology. This thing just completely broke, right? I think mine just died. I think it was too heavy. Let's go. Oh yeah. This is where, for instance, Topogon really shines because it can handle like really big topologies quite easily. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm just gonna do a little bit of a different approach here. Let me duplicate this thing again, and then I'm just gonna send the low poly. So I already know how the silhouette is gonna work, so I can probably just like poly model this a lot easier. There you go. See, that's a lot easier because it's just a simple polygonal mesh. Maya always dies. Yeah, it tends to do that. Okay. There you go. So what I need to do here is, for instance, over on this side, I'm just going to Control E, extrude N, and then Control E, extrude N, Control E. I'm going to extrude in like this. Just merge to center. That closes the top part, and over here, Gonna merge these 2 points together. Bridge these 2 guys together. Then bridge these 2 guys together. Fill this hole. So mesh, fill hole. Then to avoid having angles, of course, angulate this point right here. Going to push this here, and same stuff, just okay, much faster, much easier. I do think I'm gonna grab this point right here and with a little bit more of a flare there. That's it. Now let's see if we can actually take this back into ZBrush. Oh man, today is not my day, is it, guys? It's not my day. I think this is my sign. This is God telling me, hey, this is it. You're done. No more 3D for you today. Go take a walk. Fuck you, shit, man. That's close, whatever. Yeah, touch some grass. Go get some water or something. What the hell, man? The one thing I could have done there, maybe to prevent that from happening, was to delete history. That's probably it. But again, see, guys, I've been doing this for 15 years or 16 years now. 15, 16. I'm not impressed anymore. Like I know. Like at that point, you just know it's part of the freaking deal. So. I'm literally so used to software crashing. Every software, by the way, this happens everywhere. Maya, Blender, Substance, ZBrush, Gaia, Topogon, Unreal. Like every single software does this. So yeah, I'm not like impressed anymore. Just deal with it. And usually when that happens, especially when you haven't worked for like long periods of time, usually, again, I try to save every 15 minutes. So if that happens on that like a moment, you tend to like do this even faster the second time. So it's just part of the process. There you go. See that? So here's what I'm going to do, because I don't want that to happen again, of course. So I'm going to research information, delete history, blah, 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 all of these things right here. I can try go see again, but if I know that that's going to crash, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to export this. So export selection, desktop, let's just call this. Now we go here. I'm going to delete this one. Okay. Delete this one. Okay. And I'm going to say import desktop put. Okay. Go back to the high poly here. Just say and that put. There we go. And finally, just to finish today's session, I'm gonna grab this boot. Smooth it a couple of times, say like 4 times. There you go. And then we're just gonna do a project all. Wow, that happens. Anyone knows how to fix that? It's a very simple fix. It's a very, very simple fix. If I could pay, would you think ZBrush, Marmoset, and Painter is a good combo? I'm not really a fan of Maya. I would use Blender instead. Yeah, if you can pay, that's a great combo. I would use Blender, ZBrush as my main modeling and sculpting apps. And then, but why do you want Marmoset? Like, I mean, Marmoset and Painter is a great combo as well, but you don't need to really do that. I think you can just do Substance Painter, to be honest. Marmoset is going to be good for presentation at the end, but if you're using Blender, you can also do Blender presentation in Blender. It's going to be like really good too. So, not saying don't get both, but I would pick one or the other. Like if you want to do bakes and texturing, you can do either one or the other if you want to save money. I have both. I have a bunch of softwares, and that's a good thing as well. That the more you do this, you start like owning softwares, especially the ones that you can own with perpetual licenses, like Marmoset. And once you buy it, well, it's just yours forever, so you can keep using it literally forever. Okay, So no, I'm not gonna make one bigger. I'm gonna change the cage. So if this happens to you, this is another good short. If you're projecting your element, I'm trying to project the details from this one right here to this one right here. And if you try to do a project all and you get those like empty areas or ugly areas, that usually means that the distance right here is not as much as you need. So you probably want to increase the distance a little bit here and try project all again. And there you go. That's it. It's kind of like a cage, right? It's not a cage that you see when you're doing bakes, but it's kind of like a cage. And now, as you can see, we have successfully done this. We have successfully transferred the detail from our high poly to our low poly, and we can continue sculpting. And now with clear geometry, it's going to be even better and easier to get like clean, nice details, because the topology, the flow of the topology is going to like go in the direction that we actually need it to go. So you're going to get nicer, tighter details too. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Any questions so far before we finish today's stream? Any questions? Yeah, financially speaking, like if you want to have the best softwares or the best tools and you don't want to spend a dime, like a single cent, I'm actually gonna recommend some of them that are not very common. But it's going to be Blender, right? You don't even get ZBrush. You just go for Blender and you do everything there. There's this one I've heard about. I have not tried it, but I've heard that it's free for people making under a specific amount of money, which is called Instamat. It seems to follow a similar process to what Substance does. I'm not sure if you can bake. I'm guessing you are going to be able to bake as well. But Instamat could be an option. And then for presentation, of course, Blender. But if you don't want to, Unreal. Just jump into Unreal and render things in Unreal. We did a tutorial on how to render things in Unreal a couple of weeks ago, so check that one out. And that's it. Like those three softwares, Blender, Instamat, and Unreal, can probably get you really, really, really far. Now, if you tell me what tools should I invest on if I want to be competitive in this industry and I want to work in studios or in big projects or whatever, Substance Painter, ZBrush, Marmoset, and Blender. That's going to be like a great combo. Great combo. Do you think I'll earn more with the juice shop than by working as a 3D? I'm gonna be completely honest, man. If you're in this career because of money, like if you want to get rich, like millionaire rich, you know what I mean? Like having Lamborghinis and a mansion with a pool and traveling throughout the world, this is not the career for you. Like I know that I'm not gonna be doing that, right? Like that's not gonna happen. Can you make a living, like a good living, you know, own a car, own a house, go on vacation to vacation, support your family, stuff like that? Yes, totally doable. Totally doable. But if you want to make like really, really big money, no, you need to jump into other careers. I don't know, like real estate or finances or I don't know, like other types of like business and like endeavors. That this is not, unless you become like a producer and you start making your own games, like producing your own games, right? Or your own movies or your own like TV series. Like, is it possible to make a lot of money? Yes, but it's kind of like winning the lottery, right? Like you need to find like a really, really good strategy. But it's a good career, like any other career out there, right? I always tell my students, think about 3D as any other career that you see with a good again, like with a good amount of like financial success. So dentists, doctors, not specialists, but just like a general doctor, right? Lawyers, programmers, like you can get a good living. You can make a good living doing any of those careers. 3D is similar in that way, but you need to be smart about it. I just want to eat hot food every day. Yeah, that's definitely definitely achievable. Definitely achievable. But if you're interested in like that luxurious life that influencers and Instagrammers are always like, what's the word? Like talking about, yeah. Okay, so here's the thing, Fede Colbert, and this is another thing. Like you can have the Ferrari as a 3D artist, but then you need to sacrifice other things. What does that mean? Like you might not be able to have the Ferrari and sustain a family. So if you want to get married and have kids, you know, have them go to school and provide for them, your Ferrari is probably not going to be on the table, right? But if you are like, hey, I'm not going to marry, I'm just going to live by myself, or I'm just going to live with my partner and we're not going to have kids, it's possible. It's going to be expensive, and again, you're going to have to sacrifice and cut on other things, but it is possible. I'm just saying that you guys need to be very mindful about what expectations you have going into this. Kane Pixels made a backroom short film, now A24 picked up the... Yeah, I saw it. And again, that's why I'm telling you guys, it is possible. Like there are exceptions to the rule, right? Like there's gonna be like 3D artists who are really, really, really rich because they found a specific niche or a specific market or a specific product or a specific something, and they became like super, super famous. I'm gonna give you another example. Have you seen, of course, Stardew Valley? Right? I'm not sure how much money the creator of that game has, but because it's one of the bestseller games and it was pretty much a solo dev, of course he's gonna have a lot of money. Same for the people at like the Hollow Knight and Silksong. It's a small team, so of course at that point, yes, you can have a Ferrari if you want. You can have a like a very fancy car if you want. I don't think they're the type of guys that might get one, but it is possible, right? But again, that's the exception to the rule. That's like the 0.00001%. I don't recommend you basing your decisions and your life on that specific odds, right? So play it safe. Take some risk, of course, but play it safe. The retopo you did, would you do it? Yeah. This is my final. So eventually, when I export, this is gonna be my low poly right here. Like I don't need to change anything. As you can see, it has a very clean, nice silhouette, right? Like some nice sharp lines. A good way to evaluate this is by changing the flat color. So this is what you're gonna see as a silhouette inside of the game or inside of the engine or whatever. So that to me looks good, and I'm still going to again like work on this a little bit more, but it gives me a good like starting point. So yeah, this is my low poly. No need to do any further retopology. This is gonna be my low poly, and because this low poly is cleaner, as you can see here, my sculpting is also getting a lot cleaner, right? So I'm able to clean this like a sculpt a lot more. So can you make changes to the retopo of this? Yeah. The only caveat here is if you're going to be using this as your low poly, you need to re-export, because for instance, here, I'll show you. If I, let's say, add another wrinkle here, right? This wrinkle is changing the silhouette quite a bit on the element. Do you agree? That's a very big change in the silhouette. So now the low poly is going to be changed as well. I might need to retopologize that area a little bit to avoid having those non-planar faces, but you can reuse the low poly. You can definitely reuse the low poly. Any advice for students going into the university, like things to do to actually have a chance to break into the industry? Yes. So this is, I'm going to give you an advice that I wish I was given when I was at school, because I did not follow this instruction, and it cost me a couple of years before I could like find my pace and find a little bit more success in this industry. There's three main things you should focus when you're in school. Learning the skills. That's a given. You need to have a good portfolio. You need to know how to model, how to sculpt, how to like be good at what you're doing, at the whatever like skill you're developing. You need to do that. So make sure you do the homework, you do the exams, you ask for feedback, you use that feedback. Like that's fundamental. That's one of the like main things you're going to school for. If the school's not giving you the information that you want or that you're like expecting to have, look on your own, right? Like be very good at being self-taught. Look for tutorials, look for courses, look for mentorships, like look for ways to learn the skills, because you need the skills. It's fundamental. But the second thing, and it's also very, very important, is network. Talk to people, go to events, go to mixers, go to presentations, go to graduations, like anything that you can attend that it's free or that it's accessible to you, go to it. Meet people, and don't meet them with the intention of like getting something out of that relationship. No, meet them just to get your name out there. Ask questions about how, like what kind of stuff they're doing, right? What kind of work they're doing, what kind of like specialty they have. Like you need to start building that network. That's the one thing that I did not do as much as I should. Like normally what I would do is I would go to school, go to class, do my homework, stay there for a couple of hours, and then go home and just keep working. I should have stayed at school more. I should have been more communicative with more of my peers, right? Like building more of those relationships. I should have gone to more parties, because you will meet the social part of your, again, like your peers and everything on the social parts of the industry as well. So try to do that too. And the third thing, what was the third thing that I was going to say? Trying to figure out, because there's more things, but yeah, I think one of the last the third thing that I would recommend is try to explore, like while you're doing that, while you're learning the skills and while you're learning to make these connections, try to explore things that you might not think that were initially, let me phrase that again. Try to explore things that you did not initially think were going to be like the focus that you wanted. In my case, that's what I did with teaching. Like I realized very early on in my career that I had a sort of like talent, if you want to call it that way, for teaching. And I realized, hey, like this is something that I could also build a career on, and that's why I focused on that specific element. So if you realize, hey, I'm a really good 3D artist, but I'm also good at business, right? Like making deals and convincing people, or I'm really good at design, or I'm really good at, I don't know, like presentations. Like there might be some areas of the skills that you're developing that you are really good at and you're not really evaluating as much or as a possible career opportunity. And if you give those areas a chance, you might be surprised on how you can find some skills that can make you a very profitable artist as well. So exploring those like alternate business opportunities and not just focusing on one specific like career path could also be a thing that I would recommend. And again, university is, I think, a good place to do that, because you have like the safety of knowing that if you fail at exploring one of these areas, you still have the original idea that you're pursuing, right? So that's why I think that's a good opportunity. So yeah, those would be the 3 things that I would recommend. Make sure to focus on learning the skills and getting better at being a good artist. Make sure to focus on networking, meet people, get to know them, be good friends with them, create relationships that are going to be meaningful and that could potentially open up opportunities for you later in your career, and explore other areas that might not be as obvious at first that could potentially be another career path for you. I think that will be my advice for you, my friend. Let's see. Doshan says, "Hi Abe, I'm learning Substance Designer because I have a school license. I saw that exists an open source software that looks like Substance Designer called Material Maker. Do you know?" I'm not that aware of that one, my friend. I'm sorry. But Substance Designer is a really fun one as well. I don't use it as much. I'm also learning it on my own every now and then, but I don't use it too much. Do you have any tips for retaining information? Repetition? Yeah, of course. Practice. Like, people expect to learn this kind of stuff on a single sitting. That's not how it works, guys. You need to practice. And actually, you're now gonna make me angry, because I do have something that I want to complain about, and I hope you guys listen. And I'm gonna go full screen here. I've mentioned this before, and I'm gonna mention it again. This is not a skill that you can develop This is not a skill that you can develop quickly. You need to dedicate time. You need to practice this. I have a lot of students that come to me via message, via emails, and they tell me, "Abe, I'm trying to get better." And the first question I ask them is, "How many hours are you dedicating to this?" As students, right? Like people who should be dedicating most of their time to learning the skills. And they tell me, "Oh, I just, go to class and then like an hour in the afternoon. And after that, I just like spend my whole day playing League of Legends." Like, dude, come on. Like, how do you expect to remain competitive in this market? How do you expect to be competitive against all of the different like menaces that we have in this current situation in the world when you're not spending the time to learn the craft? Like, no one's going to become a master unless you actually spend the time. Like, even if you use the 10,000 hours, if you just do 1 hour a day, I don't know, like try to multiply that. What's that, like 10 years or something? Like, it's going to take forever. You need to spend enough time learning the skills, understanding the processes, practicing the tools to really make sure that you can have a shot at this. There's absolutely no one in any career that you can ask who got away by just doing 1 hour of work every day. That's not how it works. Because the moment you are doing 1 hour, or if you're doing 1 hour of work a day, I can guarantee there's at least 100 or 1,000 people in the world doing 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours of work every day. And they are the ones that are going to get the opportunities, not you. So if the first thing that you are going to tell me is that you're not practicing enough because you don't have enough time, I'm sorry, you're gonna find a way, or you're gonna need to find a way to find that time, especially if you're a student. Like, if you're a student, you probably have no responsibilities. Your parents might be helping you with your studies, right, with the payment. So please use this time to do as much work as you can. If you have a different life situation, if you're currently working full-time and you're trying to do this on the side, I respect you and I understand you. And again, I would encourage you to try to find as much time as possible. I know it's going to be a lot tougher in that situation, but for those of you who are out there and do have the time, use the freaking time, please. So yeah, pretty much it, guys. I think that's what we're going to be ending our stream with. So I hope you liked it so far. Let me show you here. Focus heavily on this boot today and just making sure that everything is looking as nice as possible. So I'm probably going to be working on this a little bit more. Again, using my free time to keep working on 3D, keep getting better, as everyone else should be doing. And I hope all of the little tips and the little techniques and the little like talks that we have today were useful to you, my friends. As you know, this is something that I, well, love doing, and it's thanks to you that we're able to do this. Thank you everyone for being part of this amazing community, and we're going to be back next week for portfolio review. So if you want to be participating in portfolio review, make sure to join the Discord so that you follow the instructions and you can get a shot at your portfolio being like shown during the live stream, and of course me helping you improve a little bit right there. That's pretty much it, my friends. Don't forget, always learning, always improving. I'll see you back on the next one. Bye-bye.